that. Someone said that in the comment section. I think it was on Twitter or X, whatever. And it was so good. I just had to use it, but kind of sad I didn't come up with it.
Well, first of all, I'd say that people probably put those cameras right there along that line because they were just trying to catch us cheating. Do you think that maybe for a second that you've been dominating this sport for long enough that somebody realized something is amiss? And what if Canadians are just better at sliding stones on ice and sweeping? It's a pretty easy sport to follow when you're toasted. Okay, we're revisiting just jokes we made in the last video. What is going on now? Well, quite frankly, you, America, starting to realize that I might not be as safe as I thought up here. So we're starting a buy here and buy Canadian thing for defense industry. We're gonna get at that 2% that we're supposed to have for defense spending for NATO, and we're gonna encourage people to just buy Canadian weapons and Canadian arms. Okay, I mean, I don't really have a problem with that. So, what kind of weapons do you make in Canada? One step at a time, dear. Right now, we don't. So we gotta start.
Oh, shit. Can you guys imagine Canadian infantry with Canadian rifles? After every single bullet, it just goes, sorry, sorry. When it goes full cyclic on a machine gun, it just goes, sorry.
Okay, that one was actually pretty good. But Canada, I encourage you to do what you're going to do, but I will also say that we're not making, simple bolt-action rifles nowadays, and like swords and shields. Like we're making high-tech shit. It's going to take a few years. Oh, and you think us Canadians aren't capable of that, America? We're going to find out otherwise.
Oh my God, one of the allies that we share a border with, that we've been begging to arm up for the last fucking 2 decades, finally says, you know what, I'm gonna arm up. Oh, you really showed us, you fucking snow Mexican.
And speaking of defense, the nation of Germany, specifically the contractor Rheinmetall, oh, so hard to say in this accent.
Let's go. Full screen that.
They are now producing more firepower and weapons and ammo than we currently have contracts for, and this is because we could arm Ukraine, yeah? We just need the money. I would love to have that. I just can't afford it right now. Ugh, God damn it, Ukraine. Have you learned nothing from me? Go into debt. Fuck, all the cool countries do it. Yeah, I'm already in debt up to my ears. I have no hope of ever paying it back, and fucking Slavic special ed next door has been trying to kill me for 4 years. I just want to point this out. If you guys loan me anything, you don't get paid back if I lose.
I know you thought you did something there, Ukraine, and quite frankly, I'm on your team, but we're very good at losing money. I mean, what was that shit that we did under the last administration? It was like Sesame Street in Iraq. Can you imagine how that shit was? How many V-bids do you see?
We get it. Our budget is out of fucking control.
Oh, you thought I was fucking done? 1 suicide vest. 2 suicide vests. Oh, the call to prayer. That's really the only character in Sesame Street I can make fun of. Because it's really hard to do an accent within an accent. Like, I was going to do Elmo, but I just let it go.
Germany, why you want to arm Ukraine? They're going to lose inevitably in my special military operation after I am done freeing them from the Nazis that they have become. This should be a very personal matter for you. Looks like you want to be on the losing side again. For right now, we are adamantly against pursuing any kind of nuclear weapons. You're welcome, America. Really appreciate that, because that's going to be a hard sell to the rest of NATO. Like, hey, they're not bad anymore, so thank you. But I am not afraid at dealing with the, how you say, Down syndrome wolf at the door.
Down syndrome wolf at the door, oh my lord.
Fucking Rochester Down syndrome wolf at the door. He'll huff, and he'll puff, and he'll steal your grilled cheese sandwiches.
And
you
your
have no nuclear weapons. You have no paper sense. And you have a small amount of 5th-gen aircraft because all of NATO was getting together to make one, and that has been pipe dream. Okay, yeah, that is fair. That's taken us a little time to get off the ground, and I understand. So yes, the European 5th or 6th gen fighter is very similar to your S-500, yeah. And in that case, America, we may be purchasing some more F-35s, okay? There's a bit of a wait list. I'm producing them as fast as I can, but I will absolutely take it. Of course, when you can't get superior Russian technology, you run straight to the West and buy their old slop. Yeah, I'd say that too. If all of my oil companies were operating at a net loss due to sanctions, I couldn't afford to do anything. I can't finish invading my neighbor. My tactics, my skills, everything are just falling through. Oh! And here in a few years, you're going to be so outnumbered and so outgunned, you're going to have to rely on your wits. And quite frankly, in that category, you're unarmed.
Oh man, this video is just dunking on Russia. Ukraine called him Slavic Special Ed. Fucking Germany called him the Down syndrome wolf at the door. And I'm pretty sure the nerd just called you retarded in a very, very classy way. At this point, you're getting it from so many angles. You're airtight, just like your mom.
Well, that's disgusting.
Now, what's disgusting is the sound when things like that happen. Sounds like two dudes are slap fighting in an elevator with no air conditioning, and the third guy is fist fighting a lasagna.
You know, Russia, I'm just trying to ignore that mental image that I just got from Buff. You could end this entire thing by just stopping, going home, saying, you know what, it's not worth it, people are more important, and then sanctions get lifted. Everyone starts doing better in your country. Hell, you might even get access to Starlink again. I don't need your fucking Starlink. I have my own proprietary Russian satellite internet, and it works perfectly fine. Yeah, except it doesn't. We intercepted a transmission from your guys on the front who quite literally said, and I quote, "It's ass. You shut up, Ukraine. It is fine. It's taking some time to get started. So yes, there is some blind spots. 7 satellites. I could Google this right now, but I'm almost positive we launched more than that in a single Starlink rocket.
We here in South Korea are a nation of laws, and as such, no one is above the law. We have now charged, convicted, and sentenced the former president of South Korea to life in prison for invoking martial law.
That is impressive, South Korea. We too have upheld the law. We have now arrested former Prince Andrew, and the king himself, King Charles, said that it is the rule of law. It must be observed and nobody is above it. It is for potential misconduct. Prince Andrew, while working with Jeffrey Epstein. America? How do you like that? I mean, I love it that the elitists in charge are gonna hate it. But at this point, I mean, the Clintons can't suicide everybody, right?
I'm fucking speechless. I'll be totally honest with you guys. Like, every once in a while, the empire of the United Kingdom kind of shines through. Of just like why they have existed for so long. This is an absolute UKW. Okay, we can no longer say that no one has been arrested after the release of the Epstein files. We can no longer say that. It's just Beans on Toast was the first one to do it. Like fucking bravo, UK. God damn it, bravo.
Hell yeah. Now all they gotta do is arrest that gay-ass fighter until he loses those canals.
Bro, for real. What's your problem with goddamn canals? They're no gay.
Whatever you say, Philly.
Well, all right then. Looks like I'm gonna get my passport. Hold on. This is the one part that the United States and I both have a problem with. Is that most likely it'll be a slap on the wrist or nothing will happen.
Your redemption is fleeting, Toast Beaner.
Get as mad as you like. You haven't done anything. What have you done since the release of the Epstein files? Read through them while drinking heavily and trying not to vomit so far. Exactly. At least we did something. There is a little bit of nuance here, and I gotta tread very, very carefully because I'm not defending the actions of those people. I think they need to be held accountable, need to go through chipping. However, Everything in those files, those emails, is, while it is abhorrent and disgusting, it's all just hearsay. If someone said, oh, hey, you sent me a video of torture or something like that, well, when you investigate it, hey, do you have this video of torture? No, that was me just joking. That's not a real thing. And then they search through their computer, and if they don't find anything, there's not enough evidence to prosecute. It sucks. I hate it. But it is factual. And what's this I hear about your president signing into action part of the budget to study gambling in your military? Yeah, I mean, it's a serious problem. There's a lot of gambling in the military.
Right.
Thing
That
is, you
wasn't too
gamble with
bad.
your life for long enough, and you don't do that for a while. You gotta find something else that gives you that
That was
real.
pretty
And we're not talking
good.
about like mainly gambling in, I don't know, a casino or a legally sanctioned thing. There's a lot of gambling in the military that has nothing to do with money.
He's not wrong. I remember at a certain Patriot site in the Middle East, we were playing poker, and the loser of the hand had to do something. A friend of mine lost. He had to walk into the commander's office, and while speaking to the commander, picked up a candle off of his desk and took a bite out of it.
Don't forget that guy whose armpit you waxed with a fly trap.
Wasn't there a female mechanic on that tour who got like $40 to eat a live scorpion?
I also got punched in the face over a game of Risk. I see you, Sergeant Rontes. I can't believe you consider yourself a professional military.
That's where you got us all wrong, Beans on Toast. When it's time to do the job, we are the most professional, efficient, fucking killing machines on the planet. But when it's time to fuck around, oh, we fuck all the way around. Meanwhile, the People's Liberation Army of China has come up with the CJ-1000 cruise missile. A scramjet-powered cruise missile that travels at hypersonic speeds at less than 20 kilometers.
You call it a cruise missile, but that's not really how a cruise missile acts. For the record, okay, 20 kilometers in the air is about 65,000 feet. Cruise missiles have lateral surfaces which produce lift, and they use terrain masking to their advantage. On average, they maneuver and travel at around 500 miles an hour. Some of them in the terminal phase, like right before they strike, will go up to supersonic speeds, things like that. So basically, you just made a far-reaching ballistic missile. But there's also some problems with that, because when you're at that elevation, granted 65,000 feet, the air is much thinner, you can't even breathe up there. It's still dense enough to cook the outside of that object. So I don't know enough about this missile, but there's some inconsistencies in what they've been announcing with it, and I need to look into it further. But basically what I'm saying is 20 kilometers up is not a fucking cruise missile.
You kind of lost me with the missiletism there, so, fucking get fucked, West Taiwan, that's what we're saying.
We will be doing some training exercises with Russia and China in the Strait, so America, just stay out of our way. Unless you want to find out what my systems can do to your ships.
Oh, is that right? Kid.
Hang on, Uncle Sam. All right, Franklin. The loser of this hand has to, let me think of something funny, commit an act of domestic terrorism.
Yeah, you might be right that this gambling is getting out of fucking hand.
First of all, you need to stop doing whatever that is. Second of all,
I know. Sit in the hangar, collect dust. You're gonna get my hopes all up, and then you're gonna send the nerd over there, and I'm gonna just sit here playing with a fucking raccoon. You know what I mean. I love you.
no, if you'd hear me out, I need a dozen F-22s over in CENTCOM. Go.
Seriously? Oh my god. Oh god. I gotta pack. What am I gonna wear? What? Not a turban. That's for sure.
Where the fuck did he get a turban?
Kid, calm down. Get your mind right. You gotta keep your head in the game when you're over there, okay? And when it comes time, you do what you need to do, all right?
Yeah, cool. I didn't listen to any of that. Whatever you say. It's my time now, old man.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be all right. Or he won't. And then I'll have to compete with Grandpa Buff to see who's in service longer.
I like the sentiment and I like the energy, but in reality, when the universe ends, it's literally gonna be me, the Roaches, and Keith Richards.
Channel, leave a comment and hit that.
Mike Huckabee tells Tucker Carlson that Israel has the biblical right to take over the Middle East. What?
You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land, and you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include like basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant, so that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I mean...
Not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries.
That this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham.
See, this functionally really, like, I mean, I think that we don't really see it the same way because it's like Islam is another culture. But, like, I view this as just as bad and ridiculous and backwards and awful as these, like, fundamentalist Islamic imams that are saying, like, that because Muhammad married a young girl, like a 6-year-old or 9-year-old or 12-year-old or something, that, like, because he did that, now it's okay to do it in, like, current day. Like, this is basically the Christian, Jewish version of that. It is. Like, this is, it is insane religious fundamentalism that should be repudiated by everybody. It's crazy. Mark Huckabee's a senator?
Yeah. It's a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism. I wonder
like what Jesus would think about Israel blowing up Palestinians and leveling Gaza. I wonder what Jesus would think about that. Jeez. Who knows?
Go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people, and so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask what land are you talking about, because I just read Genesis 15 as I have many times, and that land, I think it says from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is once again basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he did.
Isn't it convenient that in the book that they wrote, it says that they should get everything? I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Shit. I mean, is it really that simple? Yeah, well, if you look at the book that I wrote, it says right here that I get all the stuff. Yeah, all the stuff. Right. Okay. How about that?
Didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis. Yeah. You're saying that's the...
He's not appealing to Genesis. He's appealing to genocide.
Original deed.
Ooh. It would be fine if they took it all.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We gotta do something about this. Like, what genocide? The genocide that would have to occur in order for them to take over all of these lands and displace the native peoples of those lands, and then inflict their will, culture, ideology, and way of life on those people that they have no right to do so to? The fuck do you mean? Like, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. So they would be conquering? They would be. They would be, and I don't think that's, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't think that's the right way to do things. I don't...
What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis. Yeah. You're saying that's the original deed.
Would it be fine if they took it all?
We also really got to talk about the fact that, and this is another factor, you know, we're really trying to work things out with Saudi Arabia, right? We're really trying to work things out with you know, Qatar, with Syria, even, I mean, ultimately with Iran, and whenever we have a American official who's talking about basically greenlighting a mass genocide of everybody in fucking the Middle East to expand the size and influence of Israel, I think this really fucks us up. Like, we're not on message here, right? Like, I mean, this is a huge issue. It's a fucking massive issue that you have. So it's way out of context. I mean, what's the context here? All right, bro, we Muslims should follow the country's laws. For example, in Saudi Arabia, the legal marriage is 18. Listen, bro, like, I didn't say all Muslims are like that, what I was saying about, like, marrying young girls with Muhammad. I said that those are radical Islamist imams. Like, I know a lot of y'all don't do that. Of course not. But I'm not talking about the normal guys. I'm talking about the nutballs. Like, I'm saying that, like, your nutballs that are like that are like our nutballs that are like this. That's the whole point that I'm making. Is it like that's my whole point, is that, like, you guys have your nutballs, you have your problem boys, and it's a big issue. But we do too. And this is an example of it. That's what I'm really trying to get at more than anything. The fundamentalists on both sides, exactly. And so, like, this is really, can we put them all the nutballs in North Korea? I wish.
Whole squad
North
to
logic
kill
is
me.
Israel
Remember
were the
that.
good guys in the Bible, they can do no wrong. Yeah, if you say that you're the good guys, then you're the good guys. It's that simple. Is there even more of this? Wait a second. What the fuck?
In the entirety of the world, there are about 16 million Jews total.
Okay.
And
so why the fuck they need the whole Middle East then? Like, damn, bro. Like, well, really think about this. Like, I mean, so you tell me they need Iran, like, and Saudi Arabia, bro? If there's that, man, that's greedy as hell. Like, for real. Like, you don't need that much space. Damn.
8 million of them live here. The rest live mostly in New York or South Florida and a few other places.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is a small population of people. They have connection to this land, historically, biblically.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
If Bibi's family, we know they lived in Eastern Europe. There's no evidence they ever lived here. He's not religious.
But
in what sense? How do we know
ancestrally,
that? Do you have his family tree? No, we don't.
Do you?
Ancestrally, it means that the Native Americans should tell us to fucking leave and go back to Europe. Well, fuck this. Fuck this. That's not how it works. Like, this shit happened 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Like, get out of here. Bunch of bullshit.
He doesn't. So no one does. That's the point.
But
so
if
how do
there
we
is-
know that he has
but
any
if they
connection
are
to this land at
Jewish,
all?
And if there has been a practice of Judaism and a connection to the language,
But
the
he
Bible,
doesn't-
the land.
His ancestors didn't. He doesn't practice Judaism in any rigorous way. His ancestors didn't live here. They didn't speak the language, and there's no evidence they ever lived here. So on what basis does he have a right to
Very
be
much
here?
speaks the language. He has fought for the land. His family has fought for the
You're
land.
dodging a
No, I'm not
very
dodging.
obvious question, which is, where does this right come from? And the
I've-
reason
I've
it's
given you
meaningful
that
is
answer.
because there are a lot of people in the territory that Israel controls today, particularly in the West Bank, who, through genetic testing, we can know their families have been here for thousands of years.
Fucking duh. Like, fucking obviously. When is this even like, yeah, duh. Like, this is, what do you think? They just spawned in? Yeah, bro, like, this is so, didn't Shakespeare mention Palestine? Like, I'm pretty sure Shakespeare used the word Palestine referring to that same general area. And that was a long time ago. There's no way I was wrong about this, right? There's no way I was ever wrong. There's no way I could be wrong. You think I would be wrong? How could I be wrong? Fuck no, I would not be wrong. Like, there it is. See, I said, and this was like fucking 500 almost years ago, right? 450 years ago. So, you're wrong about Epstein? I'm gonna be right again. I'll always be right.
We don't know whether they practiced Judaism, whether they were Samaritans, pre-Islam. We don't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of them we know have been Christians for 2,000 years. They have less of a right to the land than someone whose ancestors, the only thing we know about them is they lived in Latvia or Poland. They're Eastern European. How does that work?
They're Jewish.
By what definition?
If you're Jewish, you get to that it's yours now. I mean, I think this is like the funny thing is that like this is actually the meme. It was promised to us 3,000 years ago. Like this needs to stop.
They're Jewish by their
But how do we know they have any
ethnicity.
connection
They're
to
Jewish
the
by
Jews
their
of the,
faith. They're
of the
Jewish
Bible?
by the connection to the language. Jewish by the connection to the Torah.
But how do we know that Bibi, specifically Bibi's ancestors, ever lived here? How do we know that?
I'm not sure if I understand your question.
Your question is, do they have an ancestral right to this land because it was theirs historically and based off of their ancestry? Why is it that a person who was in Eastern Europe now has a blood ownership of a place based off of the Bible that they were never in? Like, I mean, I think this is a pretty good question.
How do we know if the Prime Minister of Israel's ancestors ever lived?
Maybe I could ask you, how do we know they didn't? I mean,
Well, it's on the base.
I'm so sick of him. We gotta do something about him. I have to listen to more about how that was promised to them 3,000 years ago.
Basis of the claim that they did, that
right.
all kinds of things happen. People are displaced. There's a money flow. I mean, it's a big question. A lot hangs on this.
Inventing a religious mandate so you can take over somebody's land is bullshit. It's obvious bullshit. It's something that should have been left whenever we invented electricity. The fact that we're still making decisions based off of this is fucking ridiculous. You want to go and take over the land and say that it's because we've got the bigger gun? Then say, all right, fine, go do it. But this weird bullshit where they try to act like, oh no, the book says it's okay. Who cares?
It's not some theoretical thing like, ooh, you know, did my grandparents do this or do that? It's like, no, we have a right to be here because my ancestors were here. Okay, how do we know they were here?
How do we know this? Yeah, how do you even know?
I'm totally unable to process what you're trying to get at.
So we got an individual in chat. We got an individual. Keep getting your info from Expo so you became a joke. You're cringe. I'm wrong. So what are you mad about? You've been tweeting about this. You've been talking about this a little bit. What are you crying about now? What are you getting pissed off for?
Yep.
They said it's promised to them long ago because they reject Jesus in a new covenant. Yeah, it's like just because you want to play classic doesn't mean everybody else has to. Fuck. Like, it's ridiculous. Let me see. I mean, really, like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I mean, damn. Called him I'm an No, it's fine. Let me see, what is this? Because we got somebody mad. All my messages keep getting censored because I talk about Jews? Yeah, because Jews is a fucking... It's a protected word because y'all can't stop talking about that bullshit. Y'all, there's so many people in chat will bring up, it's the Jews for everything. And it got so annoying that we just blocked that shit out so people couldn't say it. Don't tell me you've been crying about this. How long have you been here? You've been here for an hour. You've been here for a whole hour. Don't tell me you just left. You've been here for a whole hour, and you're crashing out for an entire hour. And you don't have anything to say. You finally got pulled up. You finally got pulled up. You finally had something to say. You've been crying, pissed off, upset, and for what? Man. It's a wow Andy, by the way. Is it? Let me scroll all the way up. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Not true. No, the first thing he ever said was about Israel. I'm from Israel. Oh. We figured this one out. Like, You've now been exposed. Why the fuck do you need all that land, man? Like, how much more land do y'all need? Like, I mean, isn't it enough? Like, I mean, how much? Like, what is this? Like, there's no way you need Saudi Arabia too, do you? Well, I mean, really, I know we give y'all a lot of money to build houses and shit, but like, you can't build that big of a house that you need all of Saudi Arabia for it, right? That's a big house. And there's not a single comment. Not a single one. The land was promised them 3,000 years ago. I guess so. That's crazy, bro. Like, you literally, you sat here and crashed out. Let me read some of his first posts. We're gonna see what he originally said, okay? Where is it here? Trash channel dumb takes. So you've been crying. You've been mad for like almost a year. Israel again. Did you see Hamas gave Israel? There's a video about this. Did you see Hamas? Oh boy, Iran and Iraq have closed the airspace. Oh, here we go. July 18th, I don't know what this is. Oh no, this was for Jeffrey Epstein. I remember that very clearly. And where's the rest of these that are worth looking at? Have you watched Tucker Carlson confronts Mike Huckabee by saying people you create allies? And what is this here? There's no genocide. Watch the full video. Why not watch the full? Because it's long. It's too long. The ones who got the Jews out are the Romans. I mean, then take it up with them, man. So, not a single one, man. Not a single fucking comment. Like, should we ban this guy? I'm not gonna ban him. I'm not. But I think we're gonna farm him again. He'll be funny. And yeah, it'll be all right. And he's there. Well, yeah, they're pissed because they picked one plot in Middle Eastern land. Doesn't have oil. Syria has oil. Saudi has oil. Jordan has oil. They have buyer's remorse. You think they're mad because they don't have oil? Maybe. Let me see if there's any more of this that's worth looking at, but I really don't know. It's just, yeah, Mike Huckabee. I don't even know what this is at all. And I'm on team not letting them starve Cubans. It's not their government that's starving them. It's ours, you fucking moron. The Cuban government doesn't do anything to people. They're actually great. And Tucker Carlson. I think this should just pop up, right? Yeah, let me see if there's any more of this. Be fine. I took it all. I already saw that before as well. There's this one too, and about the Iraq War. Oh, here we go.
How many boots on the ground has the U.S. placed on behalf of Israel?
However many went to Iraq. We did that for Israel.
No, I don't think we did.
You said we did it because of 9/11?
That was the U.S. justification for it.
But it wasn't. So what was the actual reason?
Well, that's the U.S. government told us what's wrong. Told us that they were part of it. They had weapons of mass destruction.
They knew they had
all that.
9/11, obviously. There's no evidence. So what was the actual
Israel was not in that component.
Israel had no influence on our decision to invade Iraq. That's not what the people who made the decision say. They say Israel.
Well, let me get back to the point.
Gave us that information about the fake weapons of mass destruction. What do you think that question came from Bibi?
How many Americans put their boots on the ground for Israel? The answer is zero.
Everybody who served in Iraq put their boots on the ground for Israel.
Did not.
Where did we get the information about the weapons of mass destruction that wasn't real?
Where did we get that from? You're saying we got that from Israel? That Israel was one who pushed us into that?
Well, absolutely.
You really believe that?
I know that for a fact. And so does every... Yes, this has been widely written about and discussed. And I'm not attacking Israel. Like, they thought it was in their interest to take out a government that was paying the families of suicide bombers. I get it. I'm not mad at Israel about that. I never have been. I'm mad at the Bush administration and all the people who went along with this to the detriment of my country. That's who I'm mad at, not Israel. Bibi's doing what he can for his country, whether you agree with him or not. I want my leaders to do the same for my country. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I actually was curious what he was going to say, right? And, oh, shit. Tucker Carlson endorsed eugenics?
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we
big.
do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean, maybe it would.
Well, it would prove that it would prove that it was theirs. Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What it would prove who Abram's descendants are,
Yeah,
and
duh.
who has a right to live here, and who doesn't, according to the theology that you yourself just explained. And so I'm very
It's like, okay, I've invented this theological justification. Okay, well, let's look into who actually would be justified. Oh, jeez, would you look at the time?
confused as to why we don't do that. If you believe the theology that you've just explained to me.
Would we do that all over the world? And everybody.
This is the
Well, no, because there's no like that. And actually, yes. Like, this is what are you talking about? So, like, for example, if you go and you say, like, listen, this is like, let's say some guy dies and someone says I'm their son, and then they're like, well, no, you're not. They said, okay, well, let's test it genetically. Oh, it is their son. Oh, okay, I guess they're gonna get this person's belongings because they're next of kin. Oh, wait a minute. We do have paternity tests. No way!
Only country in the world that you've said has this covenant with God.
The
That
covenant
this
with
people
God.
have a moral and legal right to the land.
What about
And
people
so-
who convert to Judaism? Would they have a right?
Well, you've just said they're not Judaism, so
No, under your logic, they don't, because they're not the descendants. Like, it's just,
you just told
They
me.
can make aliyah. They may not have
You've just
DNA.
told me that it doesn't matter. You told me moments ago, trying to keep track,
Okay.
that it doesn't matter whether or not
yeah, send Mari Povich over to Israel.
you believe in God or whether or not you practice Torah Judaism or Rabbinic Judaism, which is something else that I don't even know if we I don't even know what that means. But it doesn't matter if you're quote a religious Jew or not. What matters is that you are part of the Jewish people to whom God gave this land that
Yeah.
extends from the Nile to the Euphrates. And so, if you believe that, wouldn't you want to know with a burning passion who those people are? And
No, they
because
don't want to know that because they know it's not them.
of science, we
reason
can
why
now
it's
know
obvious.
who those people are.
If they had the science on their side, would they do it? Of course.
So why aren't we finding out?
Of course.
I guess you could propose a DNA test for everybody who comes here, everybody who lives here. But the
I'm
point
comfortable with secular nation states where it's none of this is done on the basis of blood. I'm uncomfortable with that. I'll just say that.
Oh, wait. All right. So he asked him about Epstein. I wasn't going to look at another one, but now I have to see it.
Why are millions of Epstein files still classified? Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I haven't kept up with that.
He does.
I've never met
I don't even know.
the man. I don't know him.
Oh.
You haven't kept up with the Epstein disclosure?
I mean, only from a distance. I'm 6,000 miles away from D.C. these days, and I'm pretty sure that there's so much
current
Well, so is Epstein sometimes.
president of Israel, current president, who I know you know, President Herzog,
going very well.
apparently was at Pedo Island.
Oh, not good.
That's what it says in the disclosures.
That's
and
what
of
he
course,
calls
we
it.
know that the former prime minister, Ehud Barak, was living on and off at Epstein's house. So, still living high.
I mean, if they're talking in the emails about Epstein being a Mossad agent, like, do you really not have any input to that?
Level Israeli officials are directly
Yeah.
implicated in Epstein's life, if not his crime. So I would think that you'd be following this.
You would assume.
Only, I was not aware that there was any connection with President Herzog. I was surprised to hear that. I knew there was about
He's on the island.
the former prime minister, who apparently had a lot of dealings with Epstein.
Business dealings. And
Yes.
by the way, I'm not alleging anything, but I mean, it's in the Epstein files, and I don't know that I've heard the current president of Israel respond to it, but he is listed as a visitor to Pedo Island, so that's kind of a big deal. I wonder,
It's kind of a big deal. I would agree that's also a big deal.
considering there are so many suggestions in the files, as I'm sure you know,
Yeah.
of sexual abuse, and given that Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender, I wonder why the administration you work for would be holding millions of files, which I believe belong to the public, hidden for, quote, national security reasons. What would those national security reasons be, do you think?
Honestly, I think you've probably got more access to the White House sometimes than I do. You should ask them.
Well, but you're the government official representing that White House.
In Israel. And I represent the U.S. in Israel to the Israeli government from the U.S. government. But honestly, nobody has presented that to us.
Well,
we
now
have
that
a
you know
pretty
that
dynamic situation here. I don't know if you know that or not, but there's a lot going on in this part of the world. And frankly, that has not been top line item.
But you're surprised to hear that the current president of Israel, whom you know, is listed as a visitor to Beto Island.
Had never heard that. Never heard it even in the Israeli press.
Are you gonna?
Really? That's interesting. No. Wow. That's a little bit of a double self-report, huh? Wow.
Ask him next time you see him.
I'll be happy to. Talk to him almost every week.
I guess what I'm asking is not simply as a representative of my government or a high U.S. official, but just as like a man and a father and a Christian. How could you resist saying, like, were you on Beto Island with Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, if I'm not aware of it, and secondly, there are a lot of things that go on in the world. I don't question every single person about every single thing that may be alleged about.
Country.
I understand all that, but this is the first I've ever heard of this. So
this is an appeal to triviality so he can downplay it. That's what he's doing.
Why do you expect me to have knowledge of something like that?
Well, because you attacked me personally for suggesting that Jeffrey Epstein had ties to Mossad, and you said that.
You think he does?
Well, yeah, because he said, tell people that I'm not a Mossad agent, and he was saying that to the previous prime minister of Israel, so he would be connected to Mossad. And then he said that with his smiley face, and then they never explicitly denied it in private correspondence. So, yeah, I mean, I would say that's kind of, I mean, I think that's substantial, personally. Like, that's, well, now you can't be serious. I absolutely am. Give me a minute. This is by E.H. Barak. This is the previous prime minister of Israel. And it says, unfortunately not, and you should make it clear that I don't work for Mossad. He says you or I. This is a smiley face.
Very clear he does.
You think he does?
Surely I was lying.
Where do you get that?
Well, the fact that he was in contact repeatedly with members of the Israeli government, including the current president and the former prime minister, and all kinds of Israeli intel-connected people. Yeah. I'm not saying he worked for Mossad. I don't think we know that. But there's no question that he had extensive contact with CIA.
I think you said it at Turning Point event. Everybody knows Jeffrey Epstein.
I think that there was an advantage that Mossad gained through Jeffrey Epstein. The question is whether it was intentional or not. Like whether he was a willing participant or they just simply had tabs on him and they weaponized those tabs. That's really it.
Everyone thinks, and it turns out everyone was right, that he did have...
I'm not sure everyone was right or everyone thinks.
Okay, but you said that I was lying, and I don't want to make this about me.
I don't think I said you were lying, Tucker. I don't recall.
I'm just saying, why don't we release all the files, and then we don't need to guess?
I got no problem with that. Go ahead.
Would you call on it? Well, because you weighed in on it and said that this was not true. When of course
I said there was no evidence.
Well, there's quite a bit of evidence, but
yes.
You haven't apparently bothered.
It's like, well, there's no evidence. It's not true. Well, there's no evidence. Well, I thought you said you didn't look at anything. I didn't.
To read any of the files? Is that what you're saying?
I have not read the Epstein files.
Yes.
Apparently you have.
Well, they're on the internet.
But when you say that everybody knows that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent,
everyone believes that.
I don't think everybody does. I don't know.
Well, everyone knows that he had contact with, and by the way, not just Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, which is much more distressing for me. I'm not Israeli, I'm American. I don't want my government having any contact with someone like Jeffrey Epstein. So the shame is on the United States, as far as I'm concerned, just to be totally clear about that. Everyone's very sensitive about the Israel connection, not at all sensitive about the U.S. connection, which I find very revealing. We should care about what our government does first, I think. But since you weighed in on it and said that there's no evidence, I'm surprised that since that evidence has been open to the public for a month, since you've already weighed in publicly on this question, that you've made no effort to evaluate that evidence.
Yeah, he's not looking into it on purpose. That's the reason why.
Wow, you actually, at least I see. Oh, dude, Abercrombie and Fitch in the 90s. We used to have artists, pop artists singing about that shit. Early 2000s, too. Then it just fell off hard. I just don't understand why there's no demand for these arcades. I guess they make some money, some of them anyway. Exotic Express used to be a place you could buy edibles at. That's gone. I feel like that lollipop store, is that gone? I see they were just opening up shop. They're already gone too. This is this weird ass place. It does not. Yeah, that's still open, I think. Spencer's is another enigma. I never hear anybody talking about, even the kids that they're trying to fucking pander to, and yet they stay open. This place is shockingly still open. I bought my PS Portal from them. I'm not kidding. Lens Crafter is still there. Gold Standard, gone. It's now a bakery. This used to be Walden Software back in the day. Walden Books, actually. Yeah, I actually agree with that, man. If you're gonna bring back arcade, like pinball machines, like shit that's not practical to have in your home.
Here's the upper level of the old Sears, and this one's cool because it's got these old...
Yeah, and sometimes if I want to get steps in, I'm like, should I go down there? But then I'm like that weird guy where you're walking alone down in a place, but it's like everyone's inquisitive too.
Neon signs. It's got that one that says Sears Brand Central, and then America's Home Appliance Store.
America's Home Appliance Store. This place in spirit was closed down like 10 years before it actually closed. You would go in there and it was just, everything was just disheveled and messy. And
Wonder what they're going to do with those old neon signs. I'm sure somebody out there would love to have one of those, other than me. And here's a picture of what that used to look like with all the neon lit up.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, man. It sucks that, like, when you would go shopping, yes, you were still consuming, but it was like an experience. Now everything's just a tap on your phone. There's no experience. No, he's done. He's retiring. Phil Spencer, that is, John. Is All In still there? I don't remember. Show's gone. Let me see. Yeah, it's gone. Gone. Shocker.
On the left here is one of the rare Hollisters that is still a Hollister. You see this facade
Yeah, that's still open.
at a lot of other malls, and they're usually no longer Hollisters. I've seen a couple that are restaurants and, you know, other various types of stores other than Hollisters.
Yep, and it is still open.
And then at the end of the hall where we have the Macy's today, that's where G Fox was originally.
Yep, and that turned into Filene's. This is still open.
That was one of the original anchor stores.
This as seen on TV. I don't know how this fucking place makes money. I never see anyone in there, and I've been in there like once or twice. It's all just god awful garbage.
Of course. And then it became Filene's in
I
1993.
know that it still works there.
So that was the second Filene's location. And then it became Macy's in 2006.
Yeah, I remember being surprised. Like this Filene's just seemed like a mainstay, and one day I just blinked and it became Macy's. This hair salon, not packed, but it does good business.
That was stupid. Hey, you got another ad bait.
What the fuck is in there now? This always has some weird store. Like there's some store that has like 2 arcade machines, and like I don't even know what the fuck it is. I don't think it knows what the fuck it is. Same with there's some other nonsensical store here too. Or are they still massaging people's asses here? Maybe.
Here's what it looked like when it was G Fox.
I remember G Fox and Company. I remember going in there when it was G Fox, dude, when I was a little kid.
And here's what it looked like when it was Filene's.
Just yesterday, so it was not long ago. Good old Peter fired me from there. Yeah, you can't go into the anchor stores because they'll keep like, oh, why are you filming in here? Fuck, but I guess like competing companies do shit where it's like I don't know, they spy on stuff, whatever they, who knows?
Also, if you've never been to 110 Grill, I definitely recommend going there. That's probably one of the best restaurants I've been to in a very long time.
Yeah, their food is fire. He's right. Dead ass. The food's amazing.
110 Grill.
Strange looking man on the other side.
Alright, so that's the inside of the mall, but don't go anywhere yet because as always I'm going to do a drive around the mall and we can see what it looks like from the outside.
God, this must have been deep in summer. When did you post this shit? October? You must have filmed it way before then because those trees are luscious.
And no one's there. Where the fuck did that person go? Put that right there.
Old ass Acura there, but probably still a beast.
Here's the
Yeah, I don't think they've ever changed this outside. Like, I think they literally went from G-Fox, took that down, slapped on Filene's, took that down, put up Macy's, and the same shit ever since.
Macy's, and here's what it looked like when it
Maybe they refaced it. Oh, well, his
was Filene's.
Yeah, they never change the shit.
And here's what it looked like when it was G-Fox.
Yep, never changed. God, look at those cars, dude. Holy fuck.
Holy shit. That is fucking a blast into the past. Wow.
I knew it wasn't good. Like, they never touched up that outside except slapping new logos on there. Yeah, this is usually where I park when I go. Probably shouldn't say that. Yeah, I could see Macy's eventually going waving the white flag. If they're not close to it already.
And of course the Sears. Now this Sears looks very dated to me. It looks like they probably didn't update that exterior since probably sometime in the 90s at the latest.
No,
that smoke glass canopy looks very old-fashioned. Maybe even from the 70s possibly.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Sears fucking gave up way before they shut down. I think towards the end, like JCPenney and Sears, just they didn't want to fucking invest anything to fix up the stores. They just wanted to stop the bleeding as much as they could. Which in turn gives people a crappier customer experience at their store, which in turn means people stop going there, which in turn hurts their bottom line even more. Tale as old as time.
We're in a tree.
That is the...
Right now.
No, that's not it. That's
Hell
the
yeah.
part that's close to
What up,
her
everybody?
name.
How you doing? Your boy Blaqksheep. Thanks for hanging out today. I've had a couple of streams. It was pretty extensive day today. Even though I woke up at like 3 in the afternoon. I don't know why. I'm very happy with the way today sort of grinded down now.
In between. You have to go in between the dicks.
Started today, and this again was originally the
In between the dicks.
What the fuck did he just say?
Montgomery Ward building. And here's what...
Yeah, Steinbeck. I don't know what the fuck was
Hell yeah.
Steinbeck. I don't even know.
Welcome, everybody.
this area used to look like sometime back in probably the late 80s, early 90s, based on the cars.
Montgomery Ward. Yeah, you can tell by the... You got a Geo Metro there. You got the infamous Nissan Maxima right there. I think it's a Nissan Maxima, right? Classic. Those were all over, man. That's what, because everyone in high school had those too, because they were considered fast for their time. You had the 6-cylinder in those, about 200-something horsepower. Like, what was it, 1999? What's the maximum horsepower? Yeah, 190. It wasn't even 200. It was 190. Nissan Maxima only. It was like hood sport and hood luxury. He was a semi-fast car, like a high school kid could afford. It's like the most child mom moment ever. Bus stops here. This motherfucker's thorough, dude. He's gonna be like, alright, here's their trash can. Let's start looking through it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. You had an 89 Cougar? Did you really?
Yeah, the 80. You mean he means that they had an 89.
Holy shit! It's 1:30 already.
Got it.
Here's the Target, which, like I said earlier, was built around 2003 and opened in 2004. And then before that, this is approximately where the Steinbach's Beach used to be.
I will never park under here because the floor upstairs. Does he actually go up there? Probably not. It's almost done. It's like curved like this. They never built the top parking lot. That's a recipe for disaster. There's already under a heavy snowstorm, partially caved once. The fuck was that? How much for 1:46 a.m.? $5,000. If it's raining, I'll reluctantly park under here. That was another JCPenney entrance. Yeah. Yeah, JCPenney, I see the logo. I was right.
Here's the old JCPenney building. And there you have it. That's the Poughkeepsie Galleria Mall in Poughkeepsie, New York. I think I would classify this as a dying mall. That's my final judgment.
Oh, definitely. It's doing probably sub to fire and wood stuff.
Condolences. That's a fucking hard. That's a hard name right there. Oh no. monkey. Spider sheep. Exactly. And I'm a little shit too. I fucking kill things. Like I killed this before. I hopped down, I jumped over it and just fucking ate it. I stopped, like, I should have been like... Oh. Oh, that's dead. There's food here. There's food here. It came up to me and I said, mine.
I never fucking heard of that until now.
Yeah, dude.
I have not heard of that.
Yeah, dude. And the fun fact is there's a spot to drink in.
What kind of store
here.
was Steve and Barry's?
There's a spot to actually drink.
We used to go to
Right here.
arcades. You could have a crazy.
Right here is a good spot to take a sip. Warhorse did an next-gen update on original Kingdom Come. Deliverance been revisiting that game. Looks great. Yeah, the actual game doesn't look bad. Like in general, even the older version didn't look bad. They definitely were on a come up. That's for sure.
Awake. It's saved in the folder.
Oh, no. Okay.
Epstein file to extreme. The AI with the AI. You guys can't see it right now.
Who do we have in there?
I have no idea who the Wheeler is. I just know he's the guy who said he would vote for Gavin Newsom over
I
JD
forgot how
Vance
great
because he
it's
looks
gonna be.
more like an album.
Yeah, I used to be all about that that long RPG, long single player RPG element. You know?
That right after the stream. No, that's a lie. I'm gonna shower and shit first. I don't have to shit. I just feel like saying shit. It's weird how there's this new generation of T2.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy like the old Skyrim.
That are,
Ugh, one reason why I
they're
like
talking.
survival games like this.
But I know you're talking about it.
Like I have
It's interesting.
like skills and whatnot. Things. I trapped them on my web.
I kind of see the writing on the wall. I mean, it's still.
I trapped them in my web.
And I worked with them.
Now I'm watching them fight to the death.
You couldn't
Whoever goes that on top.
walk in the fucking store. You couldn't walk in the store.
Yeah, that goes.
Now. Marvin Smith is strong, thank God. How many people have got there? 6. Is David Eric stream?
This game
Got
is
six.
1v1 fight.
Yep. He got 40 watching. Good for you, dude.
Thomas Smith got 40 people watching him. That's pretty fucking sick. I'm glad to have everyone that's watching me. By the way, thank you for watching me, everyone. Hope you're
Wait,
having a great
Xbox
night.
put a woman
Thank you
in
for lurking.
charge.
Thank you for
Is
chilling.
No views.
You know, Sea Monkey, welcome.
6 hours ago.
Again.
462 views. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you for hanging
I
out.
know you can't see this, but there's nothing really to see. Xbox puts a woman in charge. Is it over? Oh, you try so hard, and it just aggravates me.
Yes, every creature you see here, that you can go and be any bird you want. You could be a flyer of any sort. Like, there's a bunch of flyers. All these dinosaurs here are people.
USA claims computers were acting for Epstein. No, it has been proven that he on 4chan set up the whole anti-woke bullshit, and that you were literally in a pedophile's playbook. This is confirmed now, dude.
So you just go around fucking shit up. It's like PvP game, yes, and PvE partially. PvP, PvE. There is the NPC little guys that run around that you can eat. That's pretty cool.
What is your fleeting ship? 704 views. Man. So that pop 3.7 for you. That's popping.
I'm getting hungry.
Nintendo 3DS's prices are exploding. You got some videos here and there that. Man, you had a video that got 67,000 views.
They're fucking that bird up.
But the average 8-bit Eric video is like usually from like 800 to 2,000 views. Usually around.
That sounds like something having a fight over here.
But he does have the occasional one that pops.
Oh, no fighting.
Yeah, admittedly. Hey, you got 40 people watching this live stream, but
And they're watching you.
generally though,
Well, people are watching me. They're listening.
if it was earlier, I'm going to add this to the playlist. It'll be interesting to see what he says about me. I know he's a huge fan of me. You're an interesting man, dude. I'm not sure I will. It'll be funny if I get to 100K before him. What is he at now? I'm just curious. Well, I don't know. He's really close.
Yeah, you
In
could be
theory,
pretty much anything in this game.
That
Sea monkey. Like, okay, just think of some type of creature that would be prehistoric.
However,
and
so
ask
we'll
me
see.
if you can be it.
I mean, reality from a mathematics standpoint
Or
doesn't
like-
make sense unless, like,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Thought to be, you know,
He's at 97
creature.
points.
There's like
I am at.
yeah.
You could have 10,000 fucking subs if all your videos are getting 200,000 views. Even if you just have 10K subs, you're fucking bodying channels with 10 million subs in some cases.
I like it. That's one reason why I keep coming back to it. I mean,
what's lolcow I can see?
especially that they keep updating it, and it's technically like,
What are they at?
well, it's continuously being updated.
92
Team
too?
Ancestors?
Yeah,
No, I have not.
it's just
I have.
mathematics at that point. They haven't grown in how long, right?
Wee. Wonder if that thing just came out of the
60-inch
way.
TV for $248. Who makes it?
Yeah, mine just came out of the water because it got attacked.
Getting over 9,000 views on a stream isn't bad. I would kind of that Iceman trial game over. Turn Albert gay. Albert's gay. All right, there we go. Hey, man. You know, it's still a hell of a lot more people than watching. Like, I usually get anywhere from like upper 300s to 500. Averaging, or I would say around like mid 4s with my streams, right? I imagine getting near 2,000.
Yeah, imagine getting 2,000 people in a
It
stream.
doesn't
that'd
matter
be
if you
sick.
save 2,000 people. You got 2,000 people watching. That's pretty good.
But so, Sea Monkey, tell me what it's about. Oh, is it with the apes? Is it when you play as like monkeys and becoming more than like you like your intelligence increases and like it's
I doubt it.
the whole like
I just
thing
don't. Another
like that.
platform, I would be like, yeah, there's a chance now. They're not botting. YouTube would shut them down. Well, they have like Locale Live now is at 92.2 thousand subs. What am I at? I don't even know. I know I'm over 90,000. And I know the number I see is different than your number. Exactly.
Phillips is to make her $248 after tax $271. That isn't bad.
No, Philips, I don't think Philips is really Philips anymore, but however, it doesn't matter. A lot of those no-name brand TVs, the cheaper good. So, let me see, where am I at per se? I am at 90,529. Shorts, I gotta make on Xbox, I gotta make a video short tomorrow. Pick up children. What, the price? Yeah, it is pretty incredible. Dude, there was a time, I think it was a 42-inch. I know I've said this story, but maybe there's one person who hasn't heard it before. This is in like 2015. 42-inch 1080i Pioneer TV, and it was a plasma, and it had the processing box with the subwoofer. The thing was fucking 20 grand. Yeah, I'm streaming Sunday.
What was the name of that dude again?
There's one other day that I need to film something that I'll take off, but Target. Yeah. Or Best Buy. No, there isn't an IP in here. Yeah, dude, I haven't hit 100 applause in a minute, huh? It's kind of crazy. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I got it. I'm actually not tired. I was tired like an hour ago. Now I'm actually feeling okay. But anyway, children and filming a video. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you today with the video. We'll be back with the stream on Sunday. And I'll be streaming plenty this week. You'll be seeing my beautiful ass quite a bit. Have a great evening. Thank you, Epic Gordon, for keeping track of the applause, as always. I appreciate all of you. It was fun, man. I'll pick a new voice. I think Gabe I'm going to get rid of. You guys don't seem to dig Gabe, which is fine. It takes a minute to make a new one. I'll talk maybe in the Discord tomorrow about it. We'll figure out the new voice to put in. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. See you soon. See you Sunday for a live stream.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and boy, I've got some wild stuff to talk about. The government has made a VPN, expecting you to trust the government, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, obviously I've talked a lot about your privacy, your safety on the internet. I consider it to be pretty important. So I'm gonna warn you before you think of looking at something like freedom.gov and thinking, whoa, we get to finally access a free and open internet. Now, of course, this website popped up a couple days ago. Information is power. Reclaim your human right to free expression. Get ready. And I guess you got some fella riding a horse freedom. I mean, the website seems to be fine. It seems like a nice little effect going on. But what is the freedom in this case, ladies and gentlemen? What is freedom.gov? Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, for the United States government, when you look at over half the country and pending the remaining parts of the country, say for a few states, entering into age verification laws that basically are restricting people's access to the internet, unless, of course, they whip out their wallet, take out their ID, and go, here, papers, please. So no, ladies and gentlemen, it is definitely something to be a little bit concerned about. Now, to give an idea, I decided to look a little bit deeper into this, and when this whole thing broke out, when I went to freedom.gov, basically they were going out, fly, eagle, fly. But when you do a whois search on them, basically it comes out that the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency is actually the pals behind it. So what is freedom.gov? Well, apparently it seems that freedom.gov is a place for you to access the internet in a free and open manner, as the name obviously means. So for instance, people who are close basically say that in countries like Europe, for instance, it allows the users over there to access content that is restricted under local law. So material that's labeled hate speech or propaganda, and basically they're developing freedom.gov as a State Department tool that allows the rest of the world to connect through a portal and access the free and open internet. Now, I think it's kind of wild we've gotten to a point where countries are brazenly saying, listen, we know your country is blocking access to your free speech, so just route your traffic through us, and, it's all going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. You'll get to see the internet as it actually is. It's kind of like, the Matrix, they're giving you the fucking, the red pill? Now, of course, I have a lot of concerns, as you can rightfully imagine, when a government entity offers access through itself, I imagine as a VPN service that they're giving probably for free, considering it's US government owned, and I'm sure they have the money to support basically the entire world connecting through it. I am a little bit hesitant on how much, this is basically like, giving up your information to the government themselves. A lot of people are like, I don't want Big Brother spying on me. Brother, Big Brother is literally going to be looking at every single data packet you send. If you choose to go through a VPN service. A lot of people need to understand that VPNs are basically giving almost blind trust to the entity that you're working with to traffic your internet data from point to point. Anyways, though, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to look into it. Basically, the sources that are familiar basically say it's combating what the U.S. officials describe as government censorship of certain online content. Now, of course, based on the people that are involved in this entire story, I imagine the way that this functions is probably like a VPN. So they're probably going to release an application, you download it, you route yourself through a server in the United States, and then you get access to the free and open internet. Now, in one, mention over here, the U.S. government actually isn't wrong. In places like Europe, actually a lot of parts of the world, there are laws that control what you can and cannot access on the internet. Just from a Canadian perspective, if you try going onto Facebook to read your news, I believe that you can't even read news on Facebook because Canadian laws make it so that accessing news sites, from what I understand, through social media services is just not a thing anymore. And I guess the argument is to protect the economic interests of the local people. I don't understand. I haven't looked terribly deep into it. I've just seen that laws do affect what you and I cannot access on the internet. So of course, obviously, the law kind of talks a little bit about, the European side of things, where people do, unfortunately, get arrested in the countries, in European nations, for what they post. For instance, again, when it comes to the UK, there are actual politicians that will use the legal system, according to these reports, to punish individuals that post things like satirical memes, for instance. But there are a lot of cases where thousands of people do get brought under and arrested for this. Unfortunately, obviously, while these arrests are bad, there is a silver lining in that, when it comes to these arrests, there's actually very little, prison or actual sentencing in comparison to the amount of arrests. Now, obviously, I don't think you should be arrested for whatever the fuck you post online. Obviously, if you're posting, violent rhetoric, you're actually promoting violence, hey, guys, let's go down tomorrow onto so-and-so street and, bomb these people. That is not just free speech. That is a crime. Even if you live in the freest country in the world, that would be considered a crime, and you would most definitely and rightfully get arrested for that. Simple as is. But if you're posting something that, is speech that I may not agree with, but it doesn't harm anybody, it doesn't incite violence, that is your right to promote that speech. So in some ways, the U.S. government's kind of right. There needs to be a little freedom.gov around the world. I just think you should be not trusting the United States to be delivering that freedom.gov. I think it's insane that there is a government-backed, I guess, VPN project, and it's not confirmed to be a VPN project 100%, but it's probably what it's most likely going to be, that exists to circumvent another sovereign nation's internet laws. This is the problem with the internet blocks, man. They just don't work. Because there's like a million fucking ways to circumvent it. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be making this video to just talk about this and roast it. In reality, there are other ways that you can bypass this crap too. For instance, Mulvad VPN is what I've basically been talking about for months now. And the ability for you to buy it actually anonymously through things like cryptocurrency or just sending over actual physical cash to them for literally €5 a month allows you to have access to one of the best VPN services in the world. A VPN service that has been rated by federal authorities and no information has been given up is probably the best advertising anybody can get. You can literally pay for this without even giving them any form of identification. It's
I'll catch you later, man. This game tomorrow. Hell fucking yes.
Privacy focused.
Hell yeah, Sea Monkey.
That you can purchase.
Fuck yeah, bro. That would be absolutely fucking amazing.
Like server, so even if they do get raided by the feds, nothing's gonna fucking come out of it because
I'll see you in the next one, brother. And yeah, you have to try to fly around in this.
What Linux distribution they use under the hood to host a specific server. There are situations, even in the US, where there are VPN bans that I talked about that thankfully, for now, it's sort of reversed. Like in places like Wisconsin. Now, just because they're reversed doesn't mean they're not going to reintroduce this shit down the road. But of course, there are ultimately free options too. If you have the Brave browser like I do, you can click the three little, settings panes at the top right. You can go all the way to New Private Window with Tor, and you can access the Tor browser. Hell, you can just go to the torproject.org, download the Tor browser for Windows, Mac, Linux, even Android, and there's definitely some unofficial versions for iOS, and you can just use the Tor browser. It's probably the best browser when it comes to maintaining you against tracking, surveillance, censorship, yada yada. I would know, I talked about this for years. I browsed near every single aspect of the dark web. There are videos on my channel browsing the dark web that serve as historical archives for that side of the internet. Websites that are no longer available anymore, okay? It truly is the Tartarus, the Persona 3 dungeon of the internet. Shit just keeps changing all the time. You would love using Tor if it meant your privacy, okay? It's so many ways that you can achieve privacy without giving up your data to Uncle Sam. That shit makes no sense whatsoever. So no, freedom.gov, kind of a dumb thing to go down. But of course, obviously, there are a lot of situations that come out with freedom.gov that have me kind of wondering what the true intentions of this shit really is. So for anybody that doesn't know, there have been actual cases where the U.S. government has actually financed, the
pretty good.
Projects like Tor, for instance, right? But recently, they've actually taken away or attempted to take away some of that funding too. So, for instance, in the U.S., there used to be this there
I almost
open
just
technology
died from
and they filed a lawsuit in
fucking
Washington, D.C.
starving to
against
death.
a U.S. agency because literally their money was supposed to be taken away from Let's Encrypt and things like Tor.
Very lucky.
Now, obviously, this was backed away, and the government really just pushed back on this. So, thankfully, the money is still being given to protect this, but it makes me wonder, right? Like, if the government is so willing to start focusing on actual privacy solutions that protect you from its surveillance, what the fuck is the point of freedom.gov at the end of the day? Are they just going to be using it to spy on you? Probably. That's probably going to be the most likely option. And one of the things that I kind of want to end this off on is a research paper done by a set of security researchers that I really think deserve a lot of attention right now. So for instance, this is VM Funk. So this is an individual that wrote a research paper, February 16th, by the way, exposing Persona even further. Now, to give you an idea, Persona, we've been talking about it with Discord, it's the age verification shit that they've been pushing on. Now, they had a brief connection to Persona, their experiment ended, but obviously these people started off by saying, first off, there are no laws that are broken. Everything that they did was passive reconnaissance, so they were actually doing no intrusion, no anything. So to give you an idea, how did they actually find out something was crazy here? What was crazy is Persona apparently is connected with mass surveillance. So there's actually a lot of stuff they found inside the Persona backend. Now, I've showed you Showdown before on things like virus investigations. Basically, it's a search engine for things that are connected to the internet. So servers, IoT stuff, yada, yada, yada. Not your typical website, so to speak. Now, what they did was they decided to go down and they decided to find. So the way that this ended up starting out was when they were investigating the Persona stuff, they found one little interesting tidbit, which was this IP address, 3449903177. And in this IP address, they found something called watchlist DE. Now, obviously, that's a really a spooky name to have. What do you mean by watchlist? So, of course, the researchers here decided, you know what, maybe we found something. They decided to dig in a little bit deeper and decided to look at where these connections ended up going to, and eventually they found something known as withpersonagov.com. So, of course, ultimately they ended up coming at this login page, which was a US government system, and of course you can see personas attached to this, yada, yada, yada. And ultimately they went even deeper. So as they were going deeper, literally 12 days before they had actually tested this, they found something called onyxwithpersona-gov.com. By the way, this cat is following my mouse around. This is a very amazing website. I just wanted to give it a little bit of a shout out there. Brilliant web design. But anyways, going down over here, you can see that obviously when they were connecting in with Onyx, they had talked that this actually matched name-wise to an AI-powered surveillance platform, IceBot, for $4.2 million. Now remember, I talked a little bit about ICE, and I said it in my last video, and I was talking about Peter Thiel, that look, when it comes to, you know, a disaster, when it comes to I guess you could say a highly politicized disaster, so to speak, which the government calls like illegal immigration, right? Like this is a huge issue for them. And they've given a lot of money to ICE to surveil people, to deport, to do all of their stuff. Now here's the thing, they can say one thing and they can say, listen, we're going to build things like Immigration OS, we're going to build mass surveillance tools, but it's only for deporting people. Do you honestly believe they're going to spend millions of dollars to create this infrastructure and then not use it against people that they don't agree with? That is something that I always ask you to consider, right? Always look at the bigger picture. Don't get caught up in all the hype and bullshit. Always fact check, always look at the real picture of the situation. And again, always verify. You can read this stuff for yourself. I show it on my channel to show you how to follow the breadcrumb trail for yourself. Anyways, to go down over here, this was a tool that they linked to this, you know, ICE malware or ICE surveillance tool that they had purchased, allegedly. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, they had basically scraped a whole bunch of, you know, code from this actual like system, not from like this. They actually like scraped a bunch of this code, JavaScript code, VT code that existed, and they found all of this stuff to look through. Now, ultimately, at the end of all this, they found a whole bunch of interesting things that were actually happening with this Persona tool that goes far beyond just age verification. So, for instance, when it comes to your face lists, they were grabbing things like government ID numbers, IP addresses, names, phone numbers, email, geolocation, browser fingerprints, face, country, all this information was grabbed. And what it seems like is that they were actually stored for about 3 years. So while some companies say, oh, we're only going to store for a week or maybe a year, it seems, according to this code, allegedly, they were storing for a maximum of 3 years, which goes far beyond verification. It ends up literally in surveillance territory. So, of course, obviously, when it comes to OpenAI was involved, and I believe they were really in here sort of like a side tool for, you know, just like a little AI chatbot they had on the side. They really weren't involved in the surveillance aspect of it, at least from the evidence that these guys found. But to go down further into it, I think what is actually probably the most insane-looking thing is the politically exposed person and their comparison. So, for instance, if you look at some of the actual parts of this interface, politically exposed person's image, where it would actually take your image and an image from the database, and it would actually compare its similarity levels. So, there are a lot of things to wonder. There are 269 verification
Another
checks
one.
across various different types. So for a lot of people
Fucking
looking
love
into
it.
it, it seemed like it was initially, and for most of the evidence provided, it seems like it meant more for financial fraud, right? Like just verifying that, which is pretty common, right? You have FinCEN in the US, FinTrack in Canada, and every other agency around the world. But listen, it's crazy to think for a fucking second that when you have shit like this, right? When you have stuff like government surveillance to think about, you know, Persona, which basically, you know, when we look at things like Prism, for instance, right? Like Prism was a huge thing that happened back in 2008. Edward Snowden leaked it. You know, it was something that started during the Bush era, and then it expanded in scope during the Obama era. So it doesn't matter which side you vote for; they're all against your rights for privacy. That's just a matter of fact. But the interesting thing about what happened over here was it now is at least credibly somewhat like, you can credibly like assume, very credibly, that you know, Persona, you know, the photo that you would take for age verification or identity verification, well, that probably is being stored somewhere and has ran multiple checks, not just once, but several times over the course of at least 3 years, it seems, at maximum. And those could be used against you. So again, there's a lot to consider over here. Look, I know this is a very, very loaded video, but freedom.gov is one of those things that when I spot a government, and it doesn't have to be the US government, it could be the fucking Canadian government, it could be the UK government, it could be the fucking, it could be any government hosting a VPN. You should never connect through it, okay? Especially when there literally are so many other options. Like, bro, just use Tor, just use Mulvac. Just use literally anything, bro. Use carrier pigeons at this point. Fucking, if you legally can, again, there's a lot of regulations. Ham radio at this point would be a far better alternative than relying on a VPN the government makes, especially when they say it's there for your freedom. Bro, you know they're just gonna sit there and tap your data.
The fam.
We live in this insane world right now where the future of the internet a year from now, I want to say honestly less than a year, probably before GTA 6 drops, is going to be very substantially different. And I think it's good to see backlash, but I really hope that there's a lot of reversals. I think the best thing that can come out of this is people start mostly self-hosting. One of the things that I'm doing today after I edit and post this video online is I'm putting together my own self-hosted Discord-like server. I already bought a VPS. I'm already just putting it together. I'm testing it out, and if all the kinks are kind of ironed out, hopefully by next week, I can probably show you how you can start self-hosting yourself. Because I think we should just be done with these big companies enforcing this bullshit on us, okay? If any company, if Discord tomorrow, like March, decided to tell me that I have to private my identity, I'm going to stop using Discord.
Welcome back to a series so dragon. Even Spyro subscribed. In today's video, local lobotomy patient iDubbbz has reached the final stage of his fall off. He is now a dragon VTuber, and his wife Anissa is an imp.
Hot calling the kettle black.
He is now spreading disgusting lies about Ethan touching his own children, and this was a completely false accusation made by unhinged lunatic Destiny. He talks about Ethan's podcast, saying that it's filled with countless hacks and is not entertaining, as opposed to this. Ethan has responded, calling iDubbbz the least talented streamer and absolutely roasting him. Anissa has brutally humiliated iDubbbz, talking about his small peepee and how she hates men with big dicks. Oh no. She outs herself as the town bicycle, talking about her previous experiences with men with large peepees. Ew. The couple gets exposed as massive racists after interacting with a Jew in the Twitch chat, calling them a Nazi for no reason. Hassan is desperately trying to paint Asmongold as an anti-Semite by taking him out of context in one of the most disingenuous clips you'll ever see. Subscribe or you gotta sit in the corner of the hotel room like iDubbbz. Absolutely gone.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin. Right, so apparently iDubbbz is a dragon VTuber now. And no, I did not make that up. This is a real thing. I guess the final stage of the mental breakdown is becoming a dragon VTuber. Can you guys imagine telling 2016 iDubbbz that in 10 years he's gonna turn into this? Anyways, it all starts here with this post. VTuber iDubbbz overlays his stream with a message of destiny, accusing Ethan of touching his own children while complaining about the podcast being low quality. And basically, this is what he's overlaid on his stream like a watermark. Destiny. Quick daily reminder that Ethan from H3 is likely a PDF file who has touched his own children. Yeah, just in case anybody's new to the videos, this is literally a completely crazy accusation that is completely false, and Destiny is basically an unhinged lunatic who just slanders people. He's just like another version of Hassan, basically. But yeah, the fact that iDubbbz is platforming this openly is completely shameless.
I mean, it's like the only fucking content they have over there, right? Like, that podcast is full of talentless hacks. If they spent a quarter of the amount of time that they do harassing people in like trying to find actual talent and trying to not only like, who knows, hire talent. I don't know, it might be past that point of being able to hire talent. I don't think talent wants to associate with that shit now, but like they themselves, I don't know, like do some improv or something. Take some speaking classes, you know, do something in the meanwhile to figure out how to be more entertaining or interesting.
The imp knows that AB has a chin implant as well.
A BBL approaches.
Right, so just in case you were wondering, Anissa is an imp now, right? So that's the whole thing they have going on. iDubbbz is the dragon and Anissa is the imp, right? And if my previous videos weren't enough to give you like a cringe heart attack, right? I think this video should suffice because the things we're gonna go through, holy fuck. So anyways, there he was talking about Ethan's podcast, saying it's a bunch of talentless hacks, and that's hilarious coming from iDubbbz, considering he gets 100 viewers, right? Literally, he's competing for relevancy with Froggen, bro. Oh my lord. I mean, you have no room to talk, man. I mean, if we simply look at the viewers, Ethan is 270 times more popular than you. I feel like at that point, one person could be classified as more entertaining, like objectively. And I genuinely don't know what's going on with this whole dragon stuff. Like, I feel like this is just a mental breakdown, right? As I said before, the downfall of iDubbbz will be studied for generations. You thought I was kidding. You thought I was joking, but look at this shit, bruh. People responded, I'm just glad that Joji is happy. He deserves it. And if you missed the lore, he was basically a collaborator as Filthy Frank with iDubbbz and Max Mofo. And basically out of that group, iDubbbz had like the worst ending and the other two are thriving. VTuber iDubbbz, how did it get this far? I mean, just gonna say there's nothing wrong with being a VTuber. You can be a VTuber and be a perfectly normal person, but iDubbbz is clearly fucking grasping for any sort of relevancy, trying to latch on to any sort of community that he can, whether it be, you know, transforming into this fucking pseudo Hassan orbiter or something, you know, trying to make a content cop for him and completely backfiring, whether it be being this like woke warrior, and now I don't know why he's become a VTuber exactly. This is what the first taste of pussy can do to a man if you're not careful. Lord. He's going through the canon event of dating the BPD scene girl in high school, and she's just manipulative and toxic, and you grow and learn from it, except he started this at 32 and it's a sunk cost fallacy at this point. All things said though, I hope he'll be alright when this all falls apart. I have no doubt once he fades into obscurity, she will cheat. Well then she might as well already have cheated because that ship has sailed, pal. Didn't iDubbbz's wife recently say in a podcast that she doesn't want kids with him because they would look ugly? Why yes, she did.
Part of the reason why I don't want to have a child with you is because I'm terrified if we have a girl that she's gonna have all your masculine features.
Absolutely, dastardly, and don't worry, it gets worse. She's talking about his pee-pee this episode. Oh my god, it's a banger. He went from being a king on YouTube worth at the very least $1 million to sucking Hassan's pee-pee for clout crumbs. Shit's crazy. Bro, just know that no matter your life circumstances, in 10 years, anything can change, okay? If you're at rock bottom right now, don't worry, okay? Things change real quick. If iDubbbz can fall off to this extent, the reverse can happen too. So then iDubbbz directly talks about the accusation that Destiny made, and then he starts poking fun at Ethan.
I read this last night and I said, this seems like something someone might want to address. What in the world is that? But I'm putting it on screen because I think it should be addressed, because it's a big, bold accusation that's very fucked up. Enlargis says, so Destiny is a reliable source of info now, or is it only people we don't like? We? Who's we? You? I don't know who you are. Also, I will say that I think Ethan Klein is terrified of this guy. So it's just kind of like legit. It is to me, it's super funny that he has so much smoke for everyone that he thinks he can bully, but the person that he's fucking terrified, he just keeps very overtly running from.
Guys, what the actual hell is going on? Like, I already don't take IDEP seriously, right? Every single word out of his mouth is basically a falsehood at this point, right? A complete misinterpretation of reality, ultra copium. And now I'm supposed to take him seriously in this flippin' dragon VTuber model, bro. And him putting on like the worst accent ever, bro. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Bro, even Spyro is looking at you right now going like, holy bro, you're making me lose aura here. Also, it's just crazy that he puts the Destiny allegation there and goes, you better address it, Ethan. I mean, why would he need to address that? It is based on literally nothing, right? So by that logic, then anybody can make up any single thing about iDubbbz, and then he has to address that, right? Anybody can just call him a PDF file based on nothing, you know, like his idol Hassan Piker frequently does, and then if he doesn't respond, then he's just guilty, right? And you can see that that logic obviously makes no sense, right? It is just such an outrageous thing to say and do. And he's basically sort of tried to cover his bases doing this as well, saying, well, I never said it was actually true in the first place. But if you're having it fucking like a full screen size overlaid like that, you know, anybody tuning into the stream, which nobody is, but you know, the clips that are going viral or whatever, right? Somebody might come across this and think, oh, wow, Ethan's totally a PDF file, right? It's just disgusting. He knows what he's doing, and it's crazy. This was the content cop guy, the guy who was supposed to, you know, do his research, fact check everything. If 2016 iDubbbz saw this, he would literally make a content cop on this iDubbbz going, oh yeah, we know what the fuck you're doing with this shit, okay? Don't try to act like you're above it when you're clearly trying to spread this false rumor here. Also, I don't know why he's doing this, because I thought that Destiny is also an enemy of his as well, right? Because he's like a whole Hassan Glazer, right? But now he's doing the same cringe shit of like, debate me, bro. Debate Destiny. You're totally running from Destiny, right? FYI, iDubbbz, Destiny is literally a psychopath, unhinged lunatic that nobody wants anything to do with, okay? He literally does death threats against people, all right? He literally said he wants to genocide half the country. And don't get me started with his thoughts on 15-year-olds. He needs to be locked up alongside Diddy Piker in the same cell. I mean, he really is just crossing like every single line at this point. I feel like any sort of hope for redemption for iDubbbz, oh, you know, Anissa will divorce him and eventually iDubbbz will get back his brain. I think it's cooked, man. This is iDubbbz himself just being a piece of shit. I know Anissa the Imp is off screen, but like, come on, bro. You're a full-grown adult at this point. So then he puts on like his cringe accent.
They bring up her husband's military service, calling him a war criminal. Pot calling the kettle black. He wants attention. His mind is not very sharp. Oh, someone's feelings were hurt. You're an arrogant asshole who's constantly harassing people. Maybe people don't want to be associated with an arrogant asshole. Whoa, 25 gifted!
The imp is doing a little dance that you can't see.
Dance, imp, dance. The imp is dancing. Ooh.
The imp would just like to say that we are blessed with mental health that is so strong, and we are genuinely very happy, and that is why we can joke and laugh with you all and give you all a break from this shit online.
Oh my god, of course we got the Anissa appearance, bro. I mean, these guys are truly unaffected by everything, right? Unaffected by the online world, just like Frogan, you know, just completely unaffected. Just happened to be crying on camera and responding to every single little drama here and there, being terminally online, but unaffected, right? Unbothered as Dragon and Imp, the perfect couple, a match made in heaven. You know, before I used to say that, you know, nobody deserves Anissa as a wife or a partner because she's legitimately that evil. But at this point, I'm saying that IDubbbz deserves her. Okay, I changed my mind. All right, they absolutely deserve each other. They are just as evil as the other. And I can't really fathom, like, what was going through their mind when they did this. Like, yeah, let me turn into a dragon VTuber. That will get me some extra viewers right now. I mean, I guess the strategy is to just humiliate themselves as much as humanly possible. But the funniest part about that is that nobody actually goes to their stream to look at them. They just look at them through a bunch of other clips on the internet so as to never contribute to their revenue at all. And you know, I've never really witnessed someone's like mental deterioration in real time like this. It's truly fascinating. It's like, it's going to be a case study. So anyways, Ethan responded to IDubbbz's whole stream, calling him the least talented streamer.
I don't know, it might be past that point of being able to hire talent. I don't think talent wants to associate with that shit now, but like they themselves.
Excuse me, sir. That is a dig at Harley and Kate.
Well, yeah, he's about to mention them directly.
27,000 watching right now. You have 100. That's a big spread.
Yeah.
I mean, like clearly the people have voted with which show's more entertaining, right? I mean, rated. You've given every opportunity to prove to the general audience that you're entertaining. You've done it in your own video, reference back to it with millions of views. Hassan's, I don't know if Hassan ever rated you, but a lot of other people have. And you can see the chart. Your viewers go up from the rate and they immediately drop off. You cannot hold on to viewer. You have no leg to stand on to accuse anyone of being unentertaining. I mean, I genuinely think you might be the least talented streamer I've ever seen. I mean, you are genuinely bad at this in a way that I have rarely ever seen. It's incredible, and you're so dedicated, and it's powerful how confident you are in it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know where the confidence for IDubbbz comes from because you really have nothing. You have lost every single thing in life: your career, your money, your mental, your likability, your favor among the public, right? You are so beyond rock bottom that I don't even know what the hell to call it. This is like SpongeBob. You know that flippin' one episode, I forgot what it was called, where they go into this fucking weird ass place? Was it actually called Rock Bottom? It was something like that, right? That's where they are right now. And the fact of the matter is, Ethan is completely right? His show is simply way more popular and entertaining than yours. I mean, it doesn't really take much to be more entertaining than IDubbbz, to be honest, but regardless of if you like Ethan's show or not, I mean, it's obviously doing vastly better than IDubbbz, right? If IDubbbz was remotely entertaining, who'd have viewers, right? You can be like the worst person on earth, like a PDF file, a rapist, like the worst person. You will still get viewers if you're entertaining. IDubbbz can't even do that. Like, it's legit embarrassing. And the thing is, IDubbbz has no excuse. He's not like this underground creator that nobody has seen, right? You know, if some people, you know, haven't gotten their moment to shine, some people have legitimately really good content and they don't have any viewers because it was never actually shown to a wide group of people, right? They haven't got the opportunity. But IDubbbz, everybody's seen IDubbbz. Everybody knows what his stream is, and they say, yeah, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna just watch him through YouTube drama channels like me instead, okay? Because at least we make it somewhat entertaining here. The funniest part is not even the woke people watch him. It's like, you could be the wokest guy on earth, like a Hassan Piker viewer, ultra radical lefty terrorist supporter, and even then you're like, this shit's just boring, dog. At least Hassan has a couple meltdowns or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. IDubbbz is living in his worst timeline possible. These guys are pushing 40. What the hell is wrong with these people? Wasn't this guy insulting his old fans for being basement dwellers? Same man is role-playing as a cartoon dragon in his mother-in-law's basement. Signs of dementia. Bro folded so hard when he finally got some action. How hard did Anissa pack it for this to happen? Not beating the brain damage allegations. He ain't doing anything but putting the fries in the bag. Bro, the fact that all of these orbiters could have fixed their lives by getting a job, I mean, it's crazy. They just insist on being online. It's the class disease. Once you get a taste, you can never go back, even if your career is completely failing. IDubbbz is so gremlin coded. Ethan's
my lord,
right
I should have.
IDubbbz is dumb enough
should have fucking
that's
killed
not
him.
Me. That's a dragon.
That should have
or
killed
I never
him.
said that.
What the
defensible weapon
fuck?
for. Dude, it's
What
crazy
the
he's
fuck?
doing this to Ethan, the only guy who's actually sued anybody
God.
here. Bro, that is like bold. I don't know what his defense is, that I'm in Canada and you can't sue me or something. I feel like Ethan would find a way, you know? Please, Ethan, sue them. The amount of entertainment it would give me for the last 4 weeks. Bro, that might get us to episode like 700, bro. I would be indebted to Ethan if he did that. Legit. Moving on to Anissa talking about iDubbbz' PP. And I warn you, this is the most humiliating shit you will ever see. I don't know why she does this, bro. She is his #1 hater.
This is a great Anissa moment. You know her eternal quest to humiliate him? So this is a new chapter.
I don't know if chat can back me up.
No.
AFABs, gay men, whatever. The bigger the dick, the worse it's sex.
Mm.
Like a lot of men that have...
Just the premise alone, he's trapped. he's trapped from the beginning. She's already fucked him. Either he A, is bad at sex, or B, has a tiny penis.
Yeah.
There's no escape. There's no escape. There's no escape. Why are you doing this?
God.
I don't know if chat can back me up.
Nope.
Back me up, chat.
Abs, gay men, whatever.
Gay men? Why are you even going there? Hey, gay dudes, back me up.
The bigger the dick, the worse it's sex. Like a lot of men that have huge dicks, like
Sees the trap
breaking
laid.
the Richter scale,
Where do we
are,
go?
like the worst in bed.
Oh my god. Okay, this is catastrophic on so many levels. So first off, as Ethan pointed, this is the ultimate trap, right? Because there is no winning here. Either your PP is small or you're bad in the bedroom, right? And this isn't some random dude on Xbox Live making fun of you. This isn't some 13-year-old. This is your own life partner, your soulmate, right? Your #1 supporter, the person you choose to love and spend your life with. And they, instead of being your hype man, okay, being your supporter, they are putting you down like this. And the second problem with this is that she reveals herself as the ultimate hoe, okay? Because she's essentially talking about this from plenty of experience, right? Like, oh my god, you see all my previous boyfriends, they just had massive peepees, right? And it just wasn't good for me, right? It was just too painful, so that's why I settled for iDubbbz with this micro peepee, right? It's so cute and tiny, I just love it that way, right? Because the big one, I can't handle the big ones, right? No, you don't understand. Gorgeous Gabe was simply too much for me. I prefer extremely micro peepee. iDubbbz here. Diabolical, oh my lord. Lord, I've never witnessed this level of public humiliation, bro. This shit can only be found on the Legendary series. Oh my god. But wait, it's not done.
That's... I'm just saying. That's what hurt.
Choose your own adventure.
Why are you
A,
saying it?
admit to having a small penis?
Where is it going?
Or B, get defensive and claim to have a big dick, but not be able to please your wife. Choose
Why?
your own path.
Lena, if you ever
split the
put me in a
difference,
box like that,
terrible at sex and tiny dick.
Maybe I'm bad at all. Or
if you ever put me in a corner like that, Lena, I'll never forgive you.
Yo.
Why does she do it to him?
She hates him.
I don't know, stuff like this. Kinda, I don't know, it's just weird feelings in my head. It makes me kind of happy that they started with me because I'm like, I couldn't have defended this if I wanted to.
You'd be in a tough spot for sure. Yeah,
I'd be in that corner with Ian. Really funny.
So what path does he choose? Let's see.
Hey, this guy, terrible at sex. Terrible.
So he took the big dick.
Okay.
So he's got a big dick, but he can't please her. And the way she talks, she's like, dude, they are terrible at sex. Like, I have never come once to a dude with a big dick. Like, it's just impossible.
Terrible at sex. Terrible at it.
Now help him, Anissa. He's scared. He's frightened. He's threatened. His masculinity is threatened. Throw him a lifeline.
9+, 10+.
Uh-huh.
It's like they...
Oh, she's like, oh no, I'm talking about dudes with actually big dicks.
Not like you.
Not you.
think they're a gift, so they don't put in any work.
Yeah, it makes sense. How many 10 inchers you slept with there, girl?
Dozens.
How many 10 inchers you got lined up there?
That's also like
gorgeous Gabe, huh?
That's also uncomfortable because we just know people know who her boyfriend before him was.
True. Well, and also that
so
she's
he's
getting
like-
railed constantly by bulls.
Nah.
Like
I
Gabe,
don't
they
know.
don't call him Gorgeous Gabe for a reason. She said he was like Godzilla. Remember?
Yeah.
Bro, Lord, strike me down. Shall this be my wife? Holy fuck. What is this, dude? The Omega humiliation ritual. She unironically goes, yeah, all those 9-inchers, I can't deal with the big dicks. All my exes, you know, all 100 of them with these massive peepees. I just can't. They're too entitled with their big dicks and stuff. Gorgeous Gabe, you know, I was gonna spend my life with him, but then his massive peepee, I'm just not a fan. But iDubbbz here with his tiny ass peepee. I just love it. I love it. You know what you don't understand is that it's perfectly tiny in an endearing way, right? In a wholesome, cute way, right? Make no mistake, it is extremely small, but you know, I just love it that way. You know, Anissa, I just gotta make sure that everybody in public knows, every single person watching the stream and the clips that are circulating, every single person on the internet knows about our bedroom life, right? You know, just in case any of our, you know, extended family members are watching, I just want them to know that iDubbbz's dick is tiny. I mean, she's a demon, bro. Like, holy fuck. I don't know why she's actually gone and done this. If I had to guess, maybe it's sort of like an advertisement for herself when she eventually gets divorced. She's just letting everybody know that, hey, I don't discriminate. All guys, you know, I'm open for all guys right now, right? Anyone but Ian, basically. So then she goes on to explain why big peepees are bad in the bedroom. And my only question is, how would you know this, Anissa? Are you the town bicycle? Are you just like, you have a lot of experience, huh?
Problem is, like, they have been told their whole life that they're 8+ or 9+, like these, like,
Look
basically,
at Ian.
like, I'm
He is
already
so
a freak.
lost.
Nobody.
Look out.
No size of genitals makes you a freak, okay? But I'm just saying, like, they're like, I'm already like a gift, so they just don't put in any work. I've heard so many like
He's
gay
freaking
men
out.
and women talk about
He
that.
sees the
Gay men and women. I don't know. I think I've heard that gay men like a big dick.
No, she's pulled everybody.
Okay.
She's pulled everybody.
Knows it all.
She's like, not me.
Dude, okay, all the men in the audience, right? Can you imagine your wife going online and telling everyone how much she hates big dicks, how much she just absolutely despises people with big peepees, right? But then she loves you. She just loves you so much, you know? You know, those pesky guys with big peepees, they're just so entitled and so bad. They think they're God's gift to humanity. I just can't handle that. I can't handle their ego, you know? I prefer the meek, weak reek from Game of Thrones iDubbbz, right? Preferably no peepee at all, actually. Dear Lord, even the gods are watching from heaven and they're like, you gotta chill, girl. like, holy fuck, you gotta chill. They're thinking right now, like, hell ain't enough for this girl, all right? We need to create like another whole thing for her, right? And I feel like this has got to be planned or something. There's no other reason you would do this, you know, besides the terminal stupidity and humiliation kink they have, right? But I don't know, I feel like iDubbbz might be, you know, recording I mean, it's already being recorded on stream, right? So maybe he, like, you know, he sits in the corner of the hotel room in his cock chair, you know, Anissa gets it on with Gorgeous Gabe or another 500 guys or something, and iDubbbz is sitting there getting off to it. But on the other hand, he has this clip playing, you know, her sort of degrading him in his tiny peepee, and then he just gets off on it, right? Because he just loves being humiliated. He's a masochist, right? People responded, this is textbook humiliation kink being imposed. He's small, he's flaccid, he's watching from the corner. I genuinely wonder what iDubbbz is thinking when she says shit like this, because he's clearly bothered by it, but awkwardly laughing it off. Like, every single time, I feel like a piece of him just dies inside, if there's anything left. This is freaking hilarious, bro. Like, did I lie when I said this is the most entertaining series ever created, bro? I'm sorry, Breaking Bad got nothing on this shit, bro. Like, this is endless live. Okay, these are real people. This is real entertainment. I mean, goddamn, bro. Like, I mean, I just keep thinking it's over, and then they just come back. They come back again. He comes back as a dragon VTuber. Who could have predicted this? This is the only series where the twists are so insane. Bro, I could have predicted the twists in Game of Thrones, maybe, okay, if I thought really hard. Nobody, not a single soul is predicting this shit, okay? Come on. A dragon VTuber, please. You can see it in his eyes. He could see the clips coming. Why would she do this to This couple consistently makes my body physically cringe. It's like Anissa goes out of her way to embarrass her husband. The paradox of letting a woman change you will inevitably lead her to not respecting you because you aren't the same person she was originally attracted to. This guy's toast. Bro, you gotta stand by your value. You gotta have like a strong core foundation of who you are, okay? Never let anybody change you like this. Especially a complete 180, you know? He is cocked the magic dragon! What is everyone's obsession with Ethan's kids and saying horrible stuff about them? It's creepy and weird, especially coming from a bunch of childless people. It is absolutely like insane how much they're obsessed with his kids, bro. Like, just leave them out of it. Moving on to Anissa being extremely woke, right? And definitely not anti-Semitic. So here they are in iDubbbz's Twitch chat, right? And they're having a conversation with a Jewish person with the approved opinion, right? The woke opinion, right? The correct one, exactly what they want, but they still call this person a Nazi?
Oh, Twitch chat.
Okay.
They are not anti-Semitic. They are very clearly want you to know that. So listen to this. This person said, listen, don't ban me, but I'm a Jew living in Israel. So this is a first for me. No, I'm a Hasidic, Orthodox Israeli Jew that disagrees with Zionism and what Israel's doing. Okay. He's born there. Seems like he's got the right opinion. I'm not particularly left or right, but I bet you... And then somebody said, I bet you support the existence of the ethno-state. No, I don't agree with an ethno-state of any kind. Well, do you believe Israel should exist, though, is the question. And then this person said, well, I mean, there are people living here. It just needs to not be run by a criminal genocidal government. Then they responded, then you're a Zionist. Thanks for playing. But wait, Anissa chimes in response. Bro, you are a Nazi, I think.
What?
And then I think they banned him.
Bro, you a Nazi, I think.
What?
So you can't win. You cannot win.
The horrible grammar is just like the
Bro, you
cherry
a
on
Nazi,
top.
I think.
Bro, you a Nazi, I think.
Jewish.
So basically, anyone that's born in Israel, regardless of what they believe, is a Nazi.
Wow.
And a war criminal, and they hate them.
So he said that Israel should exist because it already exists.
He's like,
there's
well,
already a lot of people
He's
there.
just like stating a fact, like, well, I mean, there's like 10 million people here, so like,
yeah,
it's
so
not a question of if it should exist or not. I mean, it exists. It's already here. I just
They're
don't want a
obviously
genocidal
Jewish.
war criminal government.
Yeah.
And then they said, nice try, Zionist.
That's
and then
a
he
Nazi.
says, he goes, I am against the genocide. I'm against the ethno-state. I disagree with the government. I just happen to be born here. Nice try, Nazi. Play again.
Bro, how insane is that? I mean, this is just straight up anti-Semitism, right? This is literally playing a game of, oh, what is the easiest way I can brand this person a Nazi, right? As a Jew, by the way. Like, I just don't get this logic at all, right? It is basically sort of the woke Olympics, right? Find a way to call every single person I don't like a Nazi just because they had one message in chat that wasn't even that bad. You know, you can denounce the Israeli government. You can say, oh, I hate this, what's happening, the genocide. I totally agree with you on everything. I'm just Jewish, though. Nope, not allowed. They are literally racist. It is disgusting behavior. And these are the people pretending to be, oh yeah, I'm the good person here. I'm the person calling everybody else the racist, blah, 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 blah. And it's pure projection. Every single time, all these people, they're just projecting, all right? They are the most racist people. They're the most vile people. Obviously, we had that entire situation of Anissa and iDubbbz making fun of the Iranian person for talking about genuine oppression. It's disgusting. It's just disgusting. And of course, I'm not shocked considering, you know, Hassan is their idol. They just learn from him. He's spawning these fucking monsters. Moving on to iDubbbz getting mad at Ethan for his billboard. Basically, Ethan put up this billboard of James Charles, right? And that's a whole another timeline of YouTube drama. I'm not gonna get into it. But basically, iDubbbz is not happy.
How do you feel about the billboard of James Charles? It's just so fucking stupid. It's pathetic.
It's pathetic? Why are you so mad, bro? You know what's pathetic? Moving to Edmonton because you're so fucking broke you have to move to the wall, the northern wall, and live in your mom's basement because you're too fucking broke, and then stream every day to 100 people, making below minimum wage.
He can only attempt to solve things by spending money. It's like...
How is that your take? He's obsessed with my money. And you know why? Because he's broke.
Work on the show, make it more entertaining, don't harass people. Any of these things, like, cannot fathom operating in that way. Spending money? Yeah, I could do that. Maybe I can get more fans by spending more money. I can only... That's the...
I mean, it was calling out a known predator Are you gonna acknowledge that?
Like just like disengage. Well, actually, I'm a great example of that. Like literally just not wanting to get involved and just staying disengaged. Ian and these are both harassed English. And then
You're a great example of what?
Wait, hold on. He goes, I'm a perfect example of when you disengage from Ethan, your life goes great.
And the content cup was what?
Disengaging, baby. And also his life is going great.
And you're talking about the billboard right now. Why?
He's basically in a hole in the tundra. This is his great life. He dug a hole in tundra and is streaming from a dark, damp, freezing cave.
Oh, so now I get it. So that's why iDubbbz turned into a dragon, so that he can breathe fire and melt the ice caps of the frigid wasteland that he's living in, right? It's truly genius. It's truly genius. Now the whole dragon and imp thing, that it all makes sense, of course. Old iDubbbz would have loved the billboard, bro. Old iDubbbz would have loved the legendary series. Ethan's immediate visceral hatred of Ian is getting more hilarious each time it happens. I mean, can you blame him? Can you blame him? He's literally implying that he touched his own children. I mean, like, based on what, bro? Holy fuck. Ian, poor, poop pants, stinky, can't afford socks, steals from charity, married to someone who hates him. Ethan, not poor, clean pants, not stinky, can't afford socks, donates to charity, married to someone who loves him. Clearly somebody's winning. Moving on to Hassan responding to Asmongold. Now, recap, basically Hassan called Burnt Peanut Israel's #1 streamer for literally no reason, you know, just made it up. And Asmon called him out, and Hassan is obviously not happy. And I just want you guys to look at this framing. This might be the most disingenuous shit he's ever done.
One of them is this guy, I Am Wildcat, who got mad that I made a joke about, is this your first tweet about Israel? Nice, man. Okay, yeah. Burnt Peanut from Tel Aviv. Like, no Israel slander on my watch, sir. No Israel slander on my watch. How dare you? That's a bridge too far for me, sir. That's really anti-Semitic.
The weird thing when you're calling everything bad Israeli, I mean, I feel like this is just calling it Jewish with extra steps, right? I mean, like, what is the difference between calling something Israeli and calling something Jewish? Because, like, a lot of time...
What do you mean? What is the difference between calling something Israeli and calling something Jewish? That's the whole point. The entire point is that there is a major difference between the two. There is a huge difference. You can't just directly associate these two things with one another. The entire point that I'm making is that Israel is a totally separate nation state that you cannot conflate, and you must not conflate with the entire Jewish population around the world.
Oh my god, you absolute fucking weasel. You know what he meant. That's actually crazy. This is diabolical behavior, okay? There is no way Hassan is trying to step in and act as the hero here, gonna be like, I will never conflate Israeli and Jewish. I would never do that, okay? I, Hassan Paika, would never do that. Bro, Asmon is literally explaining what you do, okay? He knows the difference. He's pointing out that you don't know the difference, and you seem to conflate those two groups all the time. I mean, you just can't get more disingenuous than this. This guy, like, strategically paused and then attempts to explain like he's the good guy, right? You know, trying to present to his chat that, oh, Asmongold is just racist. He's just an anti-Semite. Oh my god, he's conflating the two like this. And then Hassan steps in. No, let me explain it to you guys. You're such a colossal piece of shit, man. And I guarantee you, not a single chatter is gonna call him out for this. Not a single chatter, okay? This is some cult behavior. And oh my god, in times like this, I'm so glad that I have a community to talk about this shit and like hundreds of thousands of people to share this opinion with. Because if I was just watching this alone and, you know, having nobody to tell this about, I would be screaming into the void like, holy shit, is anybody looking at this guy? Guys, holy, what the fuck's going on here? And then it gets worse. Right after purposely misunderstanding Asmongold, he says that Asmon is misunderstanding him. You cannot make this shit up, bro.
Yeah, this is based. Okay, what do you mean? This is a little anti-Semitic for my taste.
Like, Ethan was like the most Israeli thing to do, or spiritually Israeli, with like suing people, and like
no, that's not the point. The point is actively trying to undermine criticism and silence criticism. That is exactly what the Israeli state does. That is the point that I was making. Not like, oh, Ethan is so litigious because he's a Jew and that's how Jews are. Also, anyway, look at the again, purposely misunderstanding the point that I'm making there.
Bro, you literally just did that. I can't, bro. I can't. I'm gonna lose it. This guy has to be the biggest bitch on the planet. The biggest annoyance on planet Earth, bruh. Also, this guy has the audacity to go, oh yeah, Ethan is like Israel because he's silencing criticism. First off, it was a copyright lawsuit, okay? That's already leaving that out. Second off, you couldn't find any other example, right? You had to compare him to Israel. Nobody else on the planet has ever silenced criticism, right? Surely there was no other option to compare him to. It just had to be Israel, of course. The easiest scapegoat. Surely nothing to do with Ethan being Jewish. Nothing to do with you and your community calling his wife a baby killer terrorist. Yeah, man, we believe you. Now click this video or you gotta start flying around castles like iDubbbz. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.
Four different children went missing within the span of just a few weeks in January of 2026, with every story potentially pointing back to the same thing. They met strangers on Roblox. And while 3 of these children were eventually found safe, the 4th and most recent case is still unresolved, which is the main reason I'm making this video, in the hope that more information gets out there so these cases receive more attention. And with that being said, I'll lay out everything that's publicly available in case anyone has any details, no matter how small they may seem, that could actually help move things forward. And I'll make sure the appropriate contact information is both on screen and down in the description down below. But the first story that grabbed national attention started on a Monday morning in Southwest Philadelphia. James Cartwright, who is 18 years old, walked out of his house around 7 in the morning on January 12th, supposedly heading to Hardy Williams High School like he did every other weekday. Except this time, he never showed up. His mom figured something was off when the school day had ended and she hadn't heard from him. And when she reached out to the school, they confirmed that he never made it to class that day. So that's when she filed a missing person report, and things started getting really weird. So the next day, roughly 24 hours after he disappeared, his friends managed to track his phone through the iCloud, and his location pinged in San Diego, California. Yes, the teenager was just in Philly, but now the next day it's pinging in California. Well, that's not on the way to school. That's on the other side of the country. This guy left for school, then crossed the whole map. But here's the part that makes even less sense, because James didn't have any form of ID on him. He had no money or income, and according to his family, he had never traveled outside of Philadelphia in his entire life. So how did an 18-year-old with no resources somehow end up across the country in less than a day? Well, the most plausible way would have been by plane. But again, he had no ID. But the Black and Missing Foundation, which is a non-profit that specifically focuses on finding missing people of color, got involved pretty quickly, and they mentioned that the evidence was pointing towards that James potentially was in contact with an older person through Roblox. Now, it is worth mentioning here that even though that James is 18 years old, he's still a high schooler, and his family has stated that he has an intellectual disability, which meant that he could be more vulnerable to someone trying to manipulate or take advantage of him online. But the foundation suggests that he might have been lured through a platform, but at that point, nobody had actually confirmed that. It was simply the most likely explanation based on the evidence they had. So, I mean, my question then is, did they somehow sneak him onto some sort of like cargo plane, or did they sneak him onto like a private chartered plane? Like, how did they get him to California within one day? And then the other thing is, like, why would his phone still be on him if this was a kidnapping? This one's really confusing. But for at least 3 days, James's family and community members were scrambling to piece together where he might be and who he could be with as the weight of the situation really set in. Then, around January 16th and 17th, the family announced that James had actually been found in California, and that most importantly, he was safe. His mom put out a statement thanking everyone who helped search for him, and also mentioned that they were still working with the police to understand what went down during his disappearance. So currently, there's a lot of unanswered questions right there. But while James' story is unfolding, something uncanny similar was happening thousands of miles away in Mexico. Because on January 9th, 3 days before James disappeared, 2 sisters named Sabrina and Mary walked out of their house in Neza, state of Mexico, and never came back. Sabrina was 10 years old, while Mary was 16. And based on security camera footage from neighbors, they left early in the morning, carrying backpacks with clothes, their cell phones, and their savings and cash. When their parents realized they were gone and tried calling them, both of their phones were turned off, which immediately set off the alarm bells. The family then reported them missing, and during the investigation, one detail kept coming up.
both girls had been spending a whole bunch of time playing online games, specifically Roblox and Free Fire. I hadn't heard about Free Fire until now, but it's kind of like a PUBG knockoff that's very popular amongst kids in South America. Their parents had assumed they'd been playing with friends or people they knew, but authorities started digging deeper, and they started looking into whether someone they met online convinced them to leave. But on top of that, there was apparently some family drama right before they disappeared. So one day earlier, Mary had gotten a tattoo on her leg, and that's when her parents found out. They had a conversation about it, and suddenly she was gone the next day. But the parents insisted that it wasn't like a huge blow up or anything. According to Mary's mom, she told her daughter not to worry and just come home, trying to make it clear that she wasn't in trouble. But obviously, when two kids disappeared the next day, people start trying to connect the dots. Mexican authorities started following leads, and their cyber unit started picking up some information that pointed them towards Campeche, which, just like in the first case, means that the missing kids are on the other side of the country. So police in Campeche checked out an address connected to the case, but when they got there, the sisters were already gone. Eventually, after almost a full week of searching, authorities finally got a tip from a family member that tied them to a massive inner-city bus terminal in Mexico City, and that's where they found both girls. And they were with a man who had allegedly been talking to them online. And based on where they were and what they were doing, it looked like the three of them were about to get onto another bus and keep traveling. Thankfully, though, the girls were taken into protective custody, given medical attention, and eventually reunited with their parents. But the authorities said based on everything they gathered, it seemed like the girls had left voluntarily, which doesn't necessarily mean they understood what they were actually getting into here, or that they weren't being manipulated. And reports suggest that whoever contacted them started the conversation on Roblox, and then moved it over to other platforms like Discord or WhatsApp, which is apparently a pretty common pattern with this kind of thing. And Mexican authorities used this case to push for better parental monitoring of kids' online activity, recommending that parents turn off chat features when possible and keeping gaming devices in common areas instead of their bedrooms, and having real conversations with their kids about the dangers of sharing personal information online with strangers. But I mean, stuff like this just hits home. I was absolutely raised on the internet. My English is as good and bad as it is at the same time, because I was raised on the internet. I was raised in a small town in Norway. I moved there from the States when I was 7, and to put it lightly, Norwegian winters are very cold and very dark. You know, because you just don't have too much time with the sun up north during the winters, but then you have the opposite during the summers, so it all balances out, I guess. But Norway was fairly early to give the population access to affordable high-speed internet. So I spent a lot of time playing video games, especially in the winters growing up. And I've met some of my best friends online. Literally, people who were once complete strangers I met questing in the same area on World of Warcraft or on a Counter-Strike Source server. I even have a close friend who I randomly encountered while playing Arma 2 Wasteland. Like literally just over like voice comms. He was close to me and we started joking around, and then we were like, hey, let's get in TeamSpeak. And then we started talking from there, and we still talk to this day. And way later, I've met so many of these people in person, and thankfully, they were kids my age, at least at the time that we met. And, you know, now we're old. We were young once, but now I can't really say I'm old. You know, I'm in my late 20s. I'm 28. But I feel like a lot of people in my generation can relate to, you know, being a teenager and talking to people you don't know in person online. So maybe there's some survivor bias here, but obviously I don't know the answers. I'm still trying to figure out this big, massive lesson that we call life. But I don't think it's that good to try to isolate your child in the attempt of protecting them. Because I would think one of the best things you can do to protect your child is to invest your time in them, where you actually focus on hearing them out and, you know, you make sure that it's a safe space for guidance and mentorship. Because if you have a great relationship with your kid, there's a higher chance that they'll actually talk to you about what's going on in their life, who they're trying to meet up with, who they're talking to, and what their plans are. But it's tricky, because I guess you just have to balance on the fine line between wanting your kid to be as social as possible with others through their passions and them not getting trafficked across the country. Good luck, all my parents out there. We just have to try our best. Because one thing I thought of now that I feel like we kind of scathed, at least the people in my generation. The younger kids now have to start worrying about this. Because in like 2012, when I was using Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, and Skype, I could hear the people I was talking to, and I could hear that they were somewhat around my age because, you know, we were just a bunch of squeakers back then. Now, in theory, you could have some sicko use AI to appear on camera as a kid. The future is definitely going to be one massive landmine. But moving on to the third case. This one stands apart from the others, as it still unfortunately does not have a resolution. And because of that, it's especially important to focus on this point. Because on the same day the sisters disappeared in Mexico on January 9th, a 15-year-old kid named Thomas Medlin left Stony Brook School on Long Island around 3:30 in the afternoon. But instead of heading home like usual, people saw him running towards the Stony Brook train station, and he apparently caught a train to Manhattan. Surveillance cameras caught him at Grand Central Station a couple hours later around 5:30 in the evening. And through video footage and cell phone data, police were able to trace Thomas's path through the city, and they determined that his last known location was on the pedestrian walkway of the Manhattan Bridge at around 7:09 that night. And the Manhattan Bridge connects Lower Manhattan to Brooklyn and crosses over the East River. But at 7:09, 3 minutes after he was spotted on the bridge, Thomas's phone went dark. And then at 7:10, a surveillance camera near the bridge recorded what looked to be a splash of water. But according to police, Thomas was never seen walking on that bridge through any of the pedestrian exits. So, Thomas's mom, Eva Yan, told reporters that she believed her son had gone into the city to meet someone he connected with through Roblox. Though, she also said this was completely unlike him and that he's never just up and left like that before. His dad also said the same thing, that he couldn't understand why Thomas would do something like this. But the family organized search parties, checked homeless shelters, reached out to anyone who might have any information, especially as the brutal winter weather started hitting New York. Because obviously the Northeast has been hit with back-to-back blizzards since then. But then, police released an update that changed the whole story. After getting court orders and search warrants for Thomas's social media, gaming profiles, and electronic devices, investigators did a full forensic examination of everything. And according to Suffolk County Police Department, they found no evidence that any online platform, including Roblox, was connected to the disappearance. Also stating there was no indication of criminal activity, and that the police said they've been keeping Thomas's family informed on their findings and that they were continuing to work with other law enforcement agencies to try to bring some kind of closure. And as a part of that effort, they also shared Thomas's physical description in hope that it would help someone recognize him. So, he's 15 years old, from St. James, Long Island, New York. He's about 5'4", roughly 130 pounds, and wears glasses. He was last seen wearing a black jacket with red stripes, dark sweatpants with white stripes, and carrying a black backpack. So if anyone watching this has any information about Thomas, no matter how small it may seem, please reach out to authorities through Suffolk County's Police Force Squad detectives at 631-854-8452, or obviously call 911. Roblox itself did actually release official statements regarding both Thomas Cartwright's case and the Thomas Medlin one. And while wording differs, the overall approach is similar. In Thomas's case, Roblox released a detailed statement saying they were deeply concerned and that their thoughts are with him and his family. According to the company, they immediately launched an internal review, searched for any prior law enforcement inquiries, and reached out to authorities to offer support. After reviewing the account, they stated they found no attempts to move communication off the platform, no sharing of personal contact information, no unusual chat activity beyond normal in-game conversations, and no indication that voice chat had been used. And as everyone probably already knows, Roblox is an enormous platform. It has well over 100,000 active users worldwide. However, a huge amount of them, roughly 56% of them, are under the age of 18. It does have safety systems in game, but the underlying issue is as long as the platform allows open communication between users, there's always going to be some level of risk. And in many cases, those interactions don't just stay on one game itself, as they can easily move off the platform. My understanding here, though, is Roblox is unfortunately just the platform here. It's not the game's fault. So it's kind of like if Roblox magically shut down tomorrow, the predators would just move on to any other platform. The positive here is that Thomas Cartwright was found safe and Sabrina and Mary were also located, and it's normal for investigations like this to continue. So as authorities still need time to review all the circumstances and rule out any additional concerns. So again, if you have any information related to any of these three cases, please consider reaching out directly to the appropriate authorities. For the Thomas Cartwright case, you can share tips right here. For the Sabrina and Mary case, anyone with relevant information can contact local authorities only in Mexico by calling 911, which connects directly to the police services in the area where the case took place. And for Thomas Medlin, if you have any information, please contact the Suffolk County Police Force Squad detectives at 631-854-8452, or obviously call 911 if you need to. Currently, there's so much misinformation about that last case, like AI images like this one, which honestly is just heartbreaking to see people willingly spread fake information about a missing kid for what? Internet engagement? But the most recent post for the family was posted by Chris Hansen, where you can see it here. But other than that, again, all the contact information is in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Les Wexner. So this is the guy that like was named as one of the potential accomplices of Jeffrey Epstein, claimed that he was the financial advisor to LED Rothschild and the Rothschild family in France.
At an industrial level, like working for a big company like Bear Stearns, and then he had done personal work for the Rothschild family in France.
Personal wealth management, essentially.
It's about Epstein.
I don't know.
We've seen some reports that he would present himself as a bounty hunter, that he would find people's missing money. Do you recall him saying anything like that?
No.
Lizard. Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that.
So he
on the
represented
Twitch
the whole
side,
family, so there have been a whole bunch of people.
as everyone can see on the
Epstein was working
YouTube
with the
side.
Rothschilds.
I never would have met, but I knew LA.
Usual suspects.
I'm good.
I
Spider
never
on the wall.
met people, but there were people that called me that either insinuated or said they knew Jeffrey through a financial relationship.
Yeah, sure.
And so, I mean, they could have been actors, but in the time, a guy calls me up. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
It's just a because I want you to understand this. It's so confusing to me. He would
You play
say,
this game?
I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google.
And if you do, what do you play as?
What? Hold up, what?
I'm
providing
financial advice to Jeff Bezos.
I have a bunch of different games I play.
Providing
I'm a
financial
variety
advice,
streamer.
For the chief technologist at Google. And I thought, wow, I'm in good company because these are really smart guys with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you have to put yourself in the mindset of you. If my attorney said, he was qualified to argue in front of the Supreme Court, I believe him. I didn't say call the Supreme Court.
He's big money, high
I
finance.
do a lot of different games. I do play a lot of different
Did you do this?
So they just really like, I mean, this guy, honestly, let me go back. I'll pull up, there's some more clips about this too. So they actually had him talking about Jeffrey Epstein a little bit, letting him know what's going on. And what's this here? Les Wexner's attorney during his House Oversight Committee deposition.
It was just regularly done. Answer the question. Okay. It was just.
No, ultra hydro.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Whatever he's paying this attorney, double it. Double it. Double it. Like this dude, like this exactly like good attorney. Yeah, bro, double it. Whatever this dude is getting paid, it's not enough. He's getting underpaid. If it's 100,000, it's 200,000. What he said was, I will fucking kill you if you answer another question with more than 5 words, okay?
It was just regularly done. Answer the question. Okay. It was.
God. Making his job hella hard. It is. No, absolutely. That shit is fucking funny. They hot mic'd him on that. Literally what he says. It's so obvious, right? Oh my God. Holy shit, he actually said that. Yes.
Done.
Did he actually say it? Yes. Listen again.
Answer the question. 5 words. Okay. Answer.
Whatever he's getting paid, double it. Whatever they're getting him, double it. Get it in there, man. Like, absolutely. Like, this attorney, like, this is the kind of dude you want on your side. This is the guy that you want representing you. Absolutely. 100%. And you gotta respect even this old-ass man, right? I mean, like, you gotta... Because, you know, you're in a good position, but you listen to the attorney, you like, yeah, you know what? You're right about that. And, no, it's smart. And conveying a threat in court, classic? Absolutely, bro. Like, yes. Did Maxwell ever introduce you? Oh, here we go.
Mr. Wexner, the committee is investigating the circumstances surrounding Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell and the trafficking of young women, trafficking and sexual abuse of young women or girls. Did Ms. Maxwell ever introduce you to any young woman or girl?
That's such a large question. Like, maybe she introduced you to, like, her daughter or something. Like, I feel like that's...
No, I don't think she ever introduced me to any female or man.
Did Miss Maxwell ever ask you to introduce
That's more than 5 words.
young woman or girl to your friends or associates?
No.
Yeah.
Did you ever introduce any young woman or girl that you met through Miss Maxwell to any of your friends or associates?
Objection. Assumes in fact not in evidence.
Oh.
You're fine. Let's vote. Just to answer the question.
That's fine. Repeat the question. I think the answer is no, but let's...
Did you ever introduce any woman or girl that you met through Miss Maxwell to any of your friends or associates?
No, never.
Man. And so, I don't know, bro, Unlimited 2, Justice and Victoria's Secret, he was absolutely being... This is the guy, yeah, I mean, like, he never got introduced to a young woman, but he owned Victoria's Secret? Like, I don't know about this one, right? Sitting Munger of Congress, what is this? What's he saying?
It's about $1 billion that was either transferred, provided in stocks, or given directly to Mr. Epstein
From who?
by Wexner. We should be very clear
$1 billion? That's a lot of money.
that the two were very close per reporting.
That's a lot.
They spent a lot of time together. He, Mr. Wexner,
For $1 billion,
admitted that he traveled
I would.
to both Epstein's island as well as his other properties.
Yeah.
Mr. Wexner also admitted that Jeffrey Epstein had access to a lot of Mr. Wexner's wealth. And when asked even simple questions, even as it relates to Mr. Epstein being the co-president of the foundation that established
Let me guess, he
the
didn't
area
say
that
shit.
we're in today, Mr. Wexner had little to say.
Less than 5 words,
in fact,
probably.
It's clear that Mr. Wexner is trying to downplay how close Jeffrey Epstein and Mr. Wexner actually were.
I mean, I would too if I was him.
And we should be very clear
You got to pull those
that there
logs.
would be no Epstein Island, there'd be no Epstein plane, there'd be no money to traffic women and girls. Mr. Epstein would not be the wealthy man he was without the support of Les Wexner.
Man.
I think it's very important for us to note at this moment.
I don't even know if that part is true because he had a bunch of other people on his back. But like on top of this, like I think there's something going on, right? $1 billion buys a lot of jerky, pizza, and hot dogs. It sure does. And I just know, I wonder what the hell is going on with this. I really do. And not a single Republican showed up for Les Wexner's deposition today. Wait, what?
It is very frustrating the fact that there are no Republicans here today. I wish there were Republicans because sex trafficking should not be a D versus R issue. It should be a bipartisan issue. Everybody should be invested in finding the truth right now. And the fact that we've had so little cooperation from the Republicans on the House Oversight Committee, that the DOJ has actively tried to obstruct this investigation, that is shameful, and it will go down as a permanent mark on the records of people like Pam Bondi and Donald Trump.
Oh my God. Yeah, and the thing is that like he's right. He's right about this, man. He is. It's fucking ridiculous. So I don't know what the hell is going on with this. It's so fucking frustrating for me to see it. And now you have it. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, exactly. Why are they playing games on this? It shouldn't be Democrat versus Republican. Exactly. Yes, Pam Bondi dumb as fuck. They got to get rid of her, bro. Like they do. They got to totally get rid of her. And I don't know why they haven't already, honestly. Like, because she just, everything about this, let me see if I can find, oh no, is this about Trump? Oh, here we go.
Did you ever spend time with Epstein and Donald Trump?
Together?
Yes.
I would answer this question accurately. I would go to some of the Victoria's Secret fashion shows because it's very important to the brand. At some of the fashion shows, Jeffrey was there, and some Trump was there. But I remember, because Trump would always introduce himself to me, and I always thought it was kind of odd that he was at the fashion show because he had nothing to do with fashion.
You thought it was odd that Trump was at the Victoria's Secret fashion show? Like, what are we doing here? Like, really, what are we doing? Like, are we really playing this game?
That is actually funny.
Oh my god.
So,
what's my favorite game, you asked before? I really don't have a favorite game.
At an event, it could have been that, but I have no specific recollection. I never had a social, or like a drink or a cup of coffee, something.
With the two of them? Yeah.
That would put them together.
Okay, so just to clarify, because I want to make sure we're clear on the record, you're saying that you can recall instances potentially where Epstein and Trump were together and you were in their presence, or just a random scenario where Epstein may be there, Trump may be there separately?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. I think that's clearly what he's saying. Yeah.
If it happened.
What we would answer is no. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever see or become aware of President Trump having a sexual relationship with a person who was introduced to him by Epstein or Maxwell?
Oh, he's probably gonna say no on this.
Has Donald Trump ever discussed Jeffrey Epstein with you?
Nope.
That's surprising.
Did Jeffrey Epstein ever discuss Donald Trump with you?
These questions are nuts. They only care about Epstein to the extent that they can pin it on Trump. Like, you got to keep in mind that, like, a lot, and not all the Democrats, right? I mean, some of them are principled, but like a lot of them only care about the Epstein files to the extent that it's a weapon against Trump. They don't really care about the kids that are getting raped, because if they did, they'd want to get rid of the migrants, right? And so they don't actually care about this issue. They're just using it as a tool to indirectly insinuate and attack Trump. So it's important to keep that in mind.
I would describe it, he would name drop it. So he would say things like, I know President Clinton, or I know the Pope, or
he would name drop.
God, or I know you. There was that kind of name dropping, but never, I can't remember a specific place, but Jeffrey dropped a lot of names.
Yeah.
Okay. So to clarify, you believe he specifically dropped Donald Trump's name?
No, I'm saying it could have, and I don't remember.
Okay.
You don't remember? Yeah, he
did
old.
Epstein ever share any information with you about Donald Trump's sexual activities?
Ooh.
Do you have a relationship with Donald Trump?
No.
But you've met him before?
That's what he said, yeah. That's clearly what he said.
He introduced himself to me at the fashion show a couple of times, but I wouldn't say, hello, how are you? Like you say, met.
They're really going in just at Trump? Yeah.
We knew each other. We don't.
They asked him to clarify. I was saying the opposite of what he answered. No, they're trying to just put him in. They're trying to put him in a position where he implicates Trump. That's the goal. The goal is not to figure out like who raped these girls. The goal is to pin it on Trump. I think that everybody in this room knows that there's like a 0% chance that information is going to come out that's going to definitively pin Trump to like a felony charge of like bad conduct with young women. Like, I feel like everybody knows this isn't going to happen. So it's not like they're really going after something here. They probably, we know that, like, because he probably deleted it. Like, straight up, he probably deleted it, man. Like, let's be honest.
Each other, I'd be shocked if he remembered me.
Okay. And
yeah.
I know that you specifically mentioned the island. That
They're
you
fishing.
Went into
Yeah.
Jeffrey's island.
Yeah, what's this island
Do
thing?
you recall seeing any
Yeah,
of those
what the
persons
hell?
that Jeffrey Epstein
The island.
name dropped while you were on his island?
No, nobody was there, but Abigail, myself, Jeffrey, maybe somebody cutting grass or something.
Yeah.
There was a maintenance person, I think, I don't specifically recall. I know for sure I was there. Abigail was there. Jeffrey was there.
And there wasn't anything abnormal about the appearance of the home on the island, and the reason that I asked, just to give you clarification on what I mean by abnormal, we've heard reports of people being thrown off when they walked into his home in New York because there was a massage table that was just sitting randomly in the middle of a room.
Okay.
Did you see anything like that when you visited any property that belonged to Jeffrey Epstein?
I wonder.
Well, just to clarify.
Yeah.
When we visited the island, there was like a Pueblo building.
Yeah.
Maybe a one room and a bathroom or something. It was pretty crummy.
Joe Biden delete everything? Well, Trump was president when he died.
But there was no trees, there was no sand, there was no beach. It was just.
I feel like if anybody deleted it, it's probably Trump.
An island, but it was like a pile of rocks.
It's probably both.
It was just. That was kind of shocking.
Yeah, if anything, it's probably both of them. And yeah, well, if I was somebody trying to actively help the victims, it just hurts one party or another. Just get the pedos because they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about the people that get raped or anything like this. Like, yeah, they have no intention of that. Like, I don't think that they care about any of this stuff going on. The only thing that they really care about is putting themselves in a position. Did you write this letter to Epstein for his birthday book? Oh.
Did you yourself write this letter to Mr. Epstein?
Sadly, I did.
Nope.
Did Miss Maxwell approach you to write this letter for Mr. Epstein's birthday?
I think the request was to write a card or a note or something for a birthday book.
Yeah, sadly. Oops. Well, I feel like writing the guy a birthday card is not a big deal, right? I mean, it's really not.
And did that come from Miss Maxwell?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Mr. Wexler,
yeah,
would you please read the main body of the birthday note for the record, please?
Oh, that's embarrassing.
You what you want. So here it is. Happy birthday, your friend Leslie.
And what was your understanding of what Mr. Epstein would want?
What did Epstein want? Beef jerky or pizza?
He was a bachelor, so he drew a pair of boobs. Is it kind of a joke and often?
Yeah.
Understand. You've
okay.
You said a few times throughout this deposition today that you did not consider Mr. Epstein a friend of yours. However, you signed this letter, and I quote, "Your friend Leslie." Why would you sign "your friend Leslie" to someone you did not consider to be a friend of yours?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a mystery. Like, yeah, I've never even heard of this. Oh man, wow. That is fucking hilarious for me to see this. Oh my fucking god. And let me see if is there any more of these that are worth looking at? I believe this, rich people are phonies. Yeah, I mean, maybe, I have no idea. And why not just say to be polite? Oh, I have no idea. What the fuck? Everybody acts like this is crazy. Honestly, this was the funniest part of the whole thing. I don't think this is that big of a deal. This is like the attorney saying, like, bro, quit getting me to have to do more work, like by you saying all this extra stuff, because then they can work off of it. Like, I feel like it's really, and that's an attorney giving you good advice. That's the right thing that somebody like that would say. Oh, they asked Trump about this. I didn't even see this. Oh, it's about Prince Andrew getting arrested.
I got a question about something big overseas today. The former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, you know, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. That's very nice. I can actually speak about it very nice. Okay. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. Yeah. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing. To see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon. fantastic man.
Charles.
I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, and now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents. Yeah, please.
Oh, man. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. And so, I don't know. I'm not sure about this. 5 hours. Did you ever relate?
Did you personally have a sexual relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Did you personally have a sexual relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Fuck? He's like, gay? Ugh. Gay? No way. Gross. Yes, exactly, right? And what the fuck? New emote. Exactly. And are they retarded? Answer that one real quick. Yeah, like, well, yeah, you know that shit was real. And anyway, let's go back. I pulled this up. Who's this guy? Who's this asshole? What the fuck is this? She called the police and they took him to a hospital? Oh my God, get him out. 2:30 in the morning, the UK saw a migrant staring through her door? Wait, what the hell is this? Tell him to get the hell out of here.
He's just knocking on doors, making really weird noises, and it's freaking us out. No, he's just
crazy.
He's weird.
They took him to the hospital and they released him? This is what I said before, it's a future battery. They think it's AI? I mean, maybe. I hope it's AI. He's window shopping? Yeah, bro. Like, this is what they, like I said, they're animals. They're absolute animals. Like, you got to go after these people, and if you don't, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Window shopping, I like that. And so, Andrew watched as Ghislaine tortured a 6-year-old girl with a shock collar. We're not, no, we're not gonna make a joke about it. No. So let me pull this up. So Andrew accused of watching as a girl tortured with electrical shocks by Ghislaine Maxwell. That's pretty bad. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been accused of watching a young girl aged between 6 and 8 years old being subjected to electric shock torture. To have watched one being restrained on a table and tortured with electrical shocks by Ghislaine Maxwell. It's throughout these accusations surfaced through the Epstein files with the FBI report from 2020. Sexual abuse. The claim reportedly originating from an anonymous tip line suggests the other men observed the girl's torture alongside Andrew. And he said it didn't happen. Well, surely nothing happened, right? Surely there was nothing wrong. And that's why he got arrested. It was because he didn't do anything wrong. And so give him jam. Yeah, I mean, some of this shit, I will look into this, right? Because so he did get arrested. They finally did arrest Prince Andrew. I've been waiting on this for a while.
And we have some breaking news, some stunning news out of London. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former Prince Andrew, has been arrested, presumably in connection with his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to go straight to our foreign correspondent, James Longman.
Hi, George. Yes, extraordinary news out of the UK this morning. The former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has this morning been arrested on the Sandringham estate where he was living after having been removed, of course, from the home he was living in Windsor. The Thames Valley Police, the police here in the UK, put out a statement. They haven't named him specifically, but they...
Stupid hat. Should have put him in jail just for that. What the fuck are you wearing that shit for?
Are saying a man in his 60s has been arrested. As part of the investigation, they say we have today arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office and are carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. They say the man remains in police custody at this time. They are not, like I say, naming Andrew, but we know that it is him. This pertains to emails, we believe, that were published recently in the most recent Epstein files published by the Department of Justice. which seemed to suggest, they allege that Andrew was forwarding emails to Jeffrey Epstein whilst he was trade envoy here in the UK. Now, as a public official, that is misconduct. That is what the police are alleging.
That's what I would call
the charges that they presumably are bringing to him.
First time royalty's been arrested since, like, in 400 years. Since, like, 16 some shit.
If they do indeed charge him.
Think about that. Since before the United States. The last time this happened, the United States didn't even exist.
Is under arrest and remains in custody for that. We will wait and see what further details they are yet to give us. But, you know, as trade envoy, he spent more than 10 years traveling around the world on behalf of the British government to kind of foment relationships with other countries to better Britain's kind of economic outlook, if you like. That was seen as a member of the royal family could do this. You know, his status would provide Britain with that kind of heft on the world stage. But the emails from the Department of Justice suggest that when he was in these conversations in places like Singapore, Hong Kong, I've got a list here in front of me, other countries that he went to, he would then have these kind of confidential documents in these emails, and then it looks like he was forwarding them on
No, he's going around the world fucking a bunch of hoes, sending out confidential shit to everybody. That's what he's doing. Like, he didn't take this shit seriously at all. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, he's just flying around fucking hoes, sending out, hey, yo, you see this? Look at this. Hey, yo, look at this says. It says we're going to go blow this up.
Jeffrey Epstein, another one here from Vietnam, another from China. So if you look at the date on some of these emails as well, that is what is interesting. One of them here in front of me from 2010. Of course, that's well after Jeffrey Epstein had already faced charges for soliciting sex from a minor. So that goes to the heart of this entire issue around Andrew and Epstein. The relationship that he had with that convicted sex offender went far beyond the time which he said that he had broken all contact with him. People at home might remember the disastrous interview he gave in 2019 to the BBC.
I don't know why so many people have a blind spot for lying. Like, whenever somebody says something, they're just making it up. It's not like it's true. They're just saying whatever you want to hear.
He said that he had traveled to the United States, to New York, to sever his ties with Jeffrey Epstein, that he was there to basically explain to him that he no longer wanted to be in communication with him. These emails from the Department of Justice suggest...
That's like right after he goes, congratulations, man, I'm so happy you beat the case, oh, wow.
That was not true, that he basically lied about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein in that interview. He has always denied, we should say, any wrongdoing when it comes to the allegations about sex trafficking. Virginia Giuffre, of course, the individual who alleged that she was sex trafficked by Epstein for sex with Andrew, he has denied that strenuously. We haven't had comment from him or the palace on these latest allegations about emails to Jeffrey Epstein in his position as trade envoy, but one imagines that at some point today Buckingham Palace will have to release some kind of statement. They are yet to comment. But we are in the extraordinary situation where the brother of the king has been arrested.
On his birthday. On his birthday, he got arrested. The first time in 400 years.
To my mind, that has never happened in the modern history of the royal family. Certainly, this has shaken this country. It's been a long time coming. I think many people would look at this and say, Andrew should have faced justice a long time ago. True. Many others will say, well, this is a shock today to find that he's been arrested in this way.
I'm not
shocked. Shocking to all of us, no question about that, James. Let me bring that to Robert Johnson, our royal contributor. James just said it. To his memory, it's never happened in the modern royal family. Do you have any sense that anything like this has ever happened before?
They've just had minor road traffic incidents that Princess Anne was arrested over a dog. No, this is truly historic. This is seismic, George. I mean, this has serious implications for the monarchy in this country. The reality is this man still is in line to the succession, but for a moment of quirk of fate, he could have been the man who was the king. This is really shocking beyond belief. The police on royal estates, the fact that on his 66th birthday, no less, he's been arrested. He's now going to have to give evidence, have to give a report be interviewed under caution, so that this is now getting to a very serious stage. This, of course, is nothing to do with the Epstein and the sex trafficking side of things. This is purely to do with the envoy.
Right, and releasing this sensitive, classified information. Forgive me if this is an uninformed question, but could something like this happen without the acquiescence of the Queen?
I think it could.
Well, what we do know is that it was the Queen that pushed for Andrew to be that special advisor. We do know that the current king, when he was made the special envoy after leaving the Royal Navy, made it very clear that he didn't think it was a good idea.
Yeah, I think honestly what happened is that, you know, their mom liked Andrew. She thought he was a good boy. But then Charles, Andrew's brother, is like, nah, he's a fat retard. Look at his hat. Look at the hat. I mean, come on. Like, he's an idiot. And so as soon as Charles got in charge, now he gets arrested. You know, like like 300 years ago, this is like the moment that, like, as my first act as king, right? Fucking Andrew is getting fucking put in a jail cell, right? Like, you're getting exiled from Britain. So honestly, I would say that he got off light.
He thought that Andrew should just focus on doing royal duties and not take on an official role until, you know, in terms of working alongside the government in this way, until it was cleared, until they fully understand what was involved. I'm sure that the king has got his head in his hands about this at the moment. This really is a seismic moment, I've said, for the monarchy. I do believe, well, nothing like this has ever happened before, and I didn't actually think it would, even with all the pressure, that it would actually reach that stage again. This is going to be a hugely complex case. Of course, you know, he doesn't have immunity. The king can't be tried in his courts in this country. But we have this issue here that if there's evidence that comes out of here that the king knew, and the king would actually have to give evidence in a court of law, that would kill.
I don't find it to be likely that anything's actually going to happen to him. I'm going to be honest. I find it to be very unlikely. I think that worst case scenario, he basically gets like modern exiled. 400 years ago, he'd have been executed, so no one challenges Andrew's right to the throne. You mean Charles' right to the throne? Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, oh yeah, all right, Queen dies, there's a new king, but there's this other guy that might, all right, yeah, we can get rid of him.
That's the case, like it did, if you remember, in 2002 with the Burrell case, when the Queen suddenly remembered she'd had been told things by Burrell that he was keeping Diana's things for safekeeping. Now that led to the collapse of the case. It truly is a seismic moment for this country, and I think for the monarchy as well.
Do you think that the king is going to have something to say about this?
Probably not.
Well, if he doesn't, I think he should, because I think that at the end of the day, he is not only the head of state, he is also the head of the nation, if you like, and he's responsible for leading the monarchy, which is part of this constitutional parliamentary democracy. The problem, of course, will be now that this is a police case, and this means a lot of this conjecture that's been going on has to stop. Now, we have to wait and see if Andrew is actually charged. Once the moment is that he's charged with anything,
they let him go.
Then, of course, all this conjecture has to stop in the media.
They let him go.
And it becomes a police case. So that makes it difficult for the king to make a statement. But trust in the monarchy will be at an all-time low at the moment, and I think that at some stage, whether it's at the end of this or even just now, there needs to be some statement from the king and from the palace, and to make sure that people understand that this is an accountable institution that will go forward, will be transparent and abide by the law. We had the Prime Minister this morning on television saying no one is above the law, and it looks like that's the case.
How serious a threat to the monarchy is this?
I think it is an existential threat.
I think it makes them look bad. It doesn't really affect them, though. That's why I see
that people, and the monarchy
does
depends
definitely make them look bad.
The trust of the people.
Make them look real bad.
It depends on for the system to operate.
It's stupid as hell.
They are an unelected institution. You know, it may be, if the king is involved in being seen to be part of a cover-up, that it could have serious implications for him. And maybe, I don't know, maybe what goes forward. I mean, two people that clearly are clear in all of this are William and Catherine, and it's clear, it seems, that William, I remember that William, many years ago when Andrew was at the Garter ceremony, wanted to go to the Garter ceremony, and William said, look, if he's there, I'm not going. And that was like 6 years ago.
So nobody likes this guy. I bet probably, like, this is what I assume, is that they probably know a lot more about this than they let on. Like, there's probably a reason, like, I mean, who renounces all of their titles and everything, and then on top of that, like, also, like, gets arrested? Like, they probably know way, way more about this.
And he put his foot down.
But just to be clear, this all happened when the king was Prince of Wales, and we have no evidence that Andrew and the
Fuck
prince
yeah, they
were
do.
then
It's their
talking
immediate
about
family
these
member.
matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I do know, I mean, we don't have evidence, no, but I do know that it was discussed, and I do know that the king and Andrew had a meeting and talked about it, and Andrew gave his reassurances.
Serious Diana was going to expose stuff, that's why she died?
On the BBC,
Yeah,
in that catastrophic Newsnight interview, that there was, you know, he had nothing to hide, he hadn't done anything wrong. But I think this is a lot to do with the Epstein sexual allegations, not necessarily this stuff on his role as a misconduct in a public office. We did not know the extent of that, and we didn't know that until the Mandelson, the former Deputy Prime Minister.
That was crazy that they put that guy up there for no reason. That really is. Guy has crumbs in his hair, like right there. Yeah, I wonder what this is. I feel like this is just more talk, right? It's like there's not really a lot more to this, but like it does look like very clearly, you know, things could get a lot worse for him. Now, he did get released already, so it's not like really there's anything else to go off of, but you know, I do hope that obviously he gets held accountable and they ask him questions, right? Because it's not just that. You've got to keep in mind that it's also about finding out the other people that were involved. Because this is the biggest problem, is that Epstein obviously is the main link, and Ghislaine Maxwell isn't going to say anything about it. So how the fuck do you get the information about it? It's almost impossible to do. And I think that's the main concern that people have, right? Is like, how do you even do this? How do you figure it out? And so I feel like they need to find out and get some of these people to roll over and find out how to, you know, like kind of unravel this. How do you unravel this and figure out who was involved and who wasn't? Like, want to bet they asked him about Trump more than anything? Well, I feel like it makes sense that they should ask him about Trump. I mean, I think it's smart to ask him about Trump. But beyond that, I think there's more to it than just, you know, it just being about Trump. I think it's in general that's the case, right? Yeah, I'll watch it.
And so here is the call to action. We have to insist that all the information gets out there. Only then can we make a judgment.
Yep.
Now, to that end, Thomas Massey and others are saying we need all the files. You are not following through on your obligations. The Epstein Transparency Act says you need to declassify everything. All the files, all the information in the files. What's more, they have looked at the unredacted files in the supervised setting, and they found that actually when you look through them, you'll find there are people named in the files that probably should be investigated.
Yep.
So what do you do with this information? Well, then you push the DOJ to prosecute those people. We should be looking...
It's so obvious. Like, that's what's crazy about it. It's like, this should be fucking obvious. Duh.
Into Howard Lutnick.
Yeah.
We should be looking into Les Wexner. We should be looking into Steve Bannon. And I like Bannon. I've said it before. I like the guy. I like what he's been saying. But he's named in there an awful lot if he's innocent.
Yeah, and you got to figure it out. Yeah, you got to figure out. It doesn't matter whether you like somebody or not. I mean, if they're into some nefarious shit, you got to get rid of them. It's obvious.
Well, let that come out in the investigation. We need to look into Elon Musk.
Yeah.
We need to look into all these people. Donald Trump, Ronald Lauder, Leon Black.
Yeah, you don't want to have a government run by a bunch of pedos, because if it is, then you got those people that have collateral on them and they get controlled by somebody you didn't even vote for. That's what the problem is. That's the real issue.
All of these people need to be fully investigated. There's enough there for a warrant. You're hanging out with a convicted sex trafficker. You're hanging out with somebody who was involved in some shady stuff.
Exactly.
And by the way, these were all people that were hanging out with Epstein after he was initially charged and convicted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this already happened. Like, they already knew he was a problem boy.
Leon Black was his money man after Epstein got out of prison. Ronald Lauder was helping him launder money, allegedly using art purchases after Epstein was charged and convicted. Peter Thiel was investing money with him after he was convicted.
What's the odds of that?
So what does that tell you?
I looked at the Bannon files. The dude was literally just making a documentary and essentially interrogating Epstein, essentially build his trust to do a public questioning. It's not about that. It's that where there's smoke, there's fire. And like, just because somebody gets investigated doesn't mean they did something wrong. But like, you have to figure out whether they did something wrong. Like, I don't think people understand the amount of national security risks that you have whenever you have people that have life-altering collateral, what's the word for it, like blackmail on them that then they can be controlled. Like, it's a lot bigger than that. I see what you're saying, but it's way bigger than that.
All these people need to be scrutinized. All of them need to be investigated.
Yeah.
And that's where this needs to go. You shouldn't say, hey, we got the files, we have all the evidence.
Didn't Congress approve of Lutnick is calling for a witch hunt? Sadly, how many investigations or approvals are required here? Not enough. Should be more.
He's closed, they're satanic, cannibalistic vampires. No, you need to take what you have, use that to press for further disclosure.
Yep.
For names.
Yep.
And we have to pressure the DOJ to then follow up on the names.
Absolutely.
The people in the files have names and they have addresses.
You go to
now,
them.
we can do
Go get
nothing
them.
with this information because we are citizens. But the FBI and Congress and the DOJ, well, they have the power to get.
They do whatever the fuck they want. They can go get them right now if they want to.
Ultra high note.
They already did. Well, read the files. I don't know about that.
Good.
Bannon's probably one of the real interviews with Epstein. Bannon was naval intelligence, by the way. I don't think, like, whether Steve Bannon is innocent or not is not the point. The point is that he was named in the files with one of the most prolific pedophiles of all time. Probably the most prolific, the most high profile, and the most well-connected pedophile in all of history. And I bet there's probably nobody even close. This is insane. Yeah, you've got to look into it.
Bro, hell yeah.
That we know of? Yeah.
The warrants,
About to
they
fucking
have the
kill this
power
bird, though.
to issue subpoenas.
After Muhammad? Nah, you're just trying to
Bird
say
won't
some
shut the
negative
fuck
shit about
up.
Islam. Nah, bro, like, that's one guy. That's one guy in the desert.
Tell testimony to depose.
This dude was worldwide.
They have the power, actually, and the obligation to investigate.
Yep. Honestly, like, I think this is so much worse than people would imagine. It really is. And so, and then this is, again, like, keep in mind, if Thomas Massey never said this dude's name, there's a chance that nothing like this might have happened. Yeah, this is it.
Any point in time, the Trump administration could reverse this, and they could have a golden age. How? Fire Howard Lutnick. Indict Les Wexner.
I think that I think he's problematic too. Like, you can't have somebody that was in that close of proximity to Jeffrey Epstein, right? It just looks really bad. It does, and especially like they need to investigate him first, right? They do. They figure it out.
Release the files. Feed these people to the sharks, not yourself. If Trump were smart, he would feed them to the wolves instead of going down with the group. It doesn't have to be this way.
Exactly.
If Trump unredacted all the files, if he came out on True Social tomorrow and said, you know what, enough bullshit, Pam Bondi, release every file, unredact everything, we'll indict everybody, we'll fire anybody that's named in there, the approval would flip overnight.
He's completely right. Dramatic, big dick action like that. If he went, like, bro, if Trump went and they arrested all of these fucking people, like, all in one day, this would be the craziest fucking thing that would happen. So, right, and I've said this before, right? And, like, the thing, not with this, but with something else. If you want people to approve of you, you've got to win. You've got to win. You got to bring home the bacon. Why do you think he's not doing it? Why did he let the Minnesotans run wild for fucking money? Why do you let them run like a bunch of fucking chicks with their head cut off, getting away ice? He should probably in the National Guard.
Overnight.
Yep.
Trump's approval with 18 to 29s would soar.
It would double.
Favorability would soar.
Yeah.
Job approval would soar.
Big dick.
Overnight,
Big dick.
it would be corrected, and he would be seen as a hero.
Absolutely.
All he has to do, cut the 4 and 8.
Just flip the switch. Flip the switch.
Yes. Yeah, I was wondering.
All he has to do, cut the 4 and 8 to Israel. Call up Netanyahu and say,
right?
we are standing with Iran. We are standing with our other
Oh,
allies.
yeah, that was
Turkey,
stupid.
Egypt.
I don't think we should.
That
say
was a
Iran.
non-playable
We don't have to,
character.
like,
That was an NPC.
we can just, like, not deal with it. We can not be involved.
Emirates, Qatar, Pakistan, Oman, and soon to be Iran. We are not bombing them. We're not doing another Middle Eastern war. As a matter of fact, we're doing regime change in Israel.
Oh.
When is Israel going to hold the new election? And when are you actually going to see justice?
Oh.
We'll stand behind our European allies, France, UK, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, Germany, Italy, calling for accountability for Israel. Trump did those two things, he would cement his legacy as one of the great presidents of all time.
I think he's right about that. I do. I don't think you can negotiate with Iran. I don't think you can deal with Iran. But, like, that's like a minor thing. Like, everything else, I totally agree with.
He would be the people's champion. He would be America first. Yeah. He could do it. He's the president of the United States. And the next move, you do all that, you get enough political capital, you get rid of the filibuster rule, you do the nuclear option, you get rid of the filibuster, and then you jam through voting
cap
reform.
already.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we do.
You do voting reform.
Yeah, we
you
do.
mass deport fucking
What-
everybody. You
what-
put the people
what
that
just
are
happened?
trying to scam shit in jail. You go through and you do massive voter investigations. You put all the people that did that in jail. You deport everybody. You denaturalize net negative immigrants, and you get rid of them. You send them back. That way they're not voting
I think
anymore.
you guys
Like, I'm telling you, like, this shit,
lost
like,
what happened.
everything could be fucking perfect.
Something
We would
other
live
than
in
the
a
target,
paradise.
You jam through nationwide voter ID, and Republicans never lose an election
Yes.
again. You
That's exactly it. They never lose again.
jam through mandatory e-verify.
Yep.
You deport 5 million illegal.
Yeah, we would. Yes, that's right. That's how you get Agartha. That is how you get it right there. Absolutely. Wow.
In 4 years. Like, it could be done. You're the president.
Yep.
You are the president. You have the power. You're in the chair.
You do it.
You're in the
Do the
office.
Yeah, I'll take regarding regime change. Israel has elections since it's a democracy. I think Israel, like, listen, like, what we do with Israel, like, that's like a secondary thing to me, right? Like, I'm not Israel's biggest fan. I don't really hate Israel either. I just don't want to have anything to do with them. Like, that's generally the way I look at it, right? I mean, if there's a diplomatic alliance that we can have with them that's mutually beneficial, then I don't think that's really a big problem, same as we have with any other country. But this kind of like special interplay relationship that we have with them, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable, and I think it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And I think that's really what it comes down to more than anything. And I'm very glad to see this happen. I'm very glad to see more people talk about it. It's actually so easy that Trump could go and shut this shit down.
Quarantine Zone is a game where you assume the role as a biosecurity guard at a military checkpoint.
Holy shit. Let's see. Thought I grabbed it.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back. It's Friday, my dudes, the end of the
It's
week.
Friday,
You know what
my
time that
dudes.
is? Time to open a cold brewski with the friends. But in this video, we're gonna focus on Russian economy and the Ukrainian counteroffensive before you can open your cold brewski. We begin with the economy. And to illustrate the state of the Russian economy, let's take one of their plane manufacturers who came out with a new model. How is that model doing? Putin's war has pushed Russia backwards in terms of technological development. The situation with the new Russian Ilyushin 114-300 aircraft. In June 2021, Rostec CEO Chemezov stated that the aircraft equipped with a Russian engine would enter serial production in 2023. A month later, it was announced that the serial production would begin in 2022 and 12 aircraft would be produced per year. Wow.
That's funny.
Then Putin started his special military operation and the delivery period was extended to 2025. On January 5th, 2026, Rosaviatsia set a new deadline. The first 3 aircraft will definitely be delivered to customers this year. And now, next batches might be delivered no earlier than 2028. So that's what, this is a pattern in new Russia, ever since Russia after the Soviet Union, Russia under Putin. This has been a pattern. They announced that we're gonna domestically make a smartphone, domestically make a new tank T-14. We're gonna domestically make the Su-57, the newest, baddest fighter jet in the world, and they never do. They talk about it all over the world publicly, and they just don't do it.
Yeah, if
They
you
just
watch
don't
my
deliver.
screen, it'll
That's
see me
what
randomly
it is,
like pop
because
up
this money
and shit.
will get them the. I
Crazy.
mean, this talk will get them the money from Kremlin, but they steal it. That's it. That's where the story ends. Where does it all lead up to? Thousands of such companies in Russia? Well, I'm glad you asked. 7.5 trillion rubles in losses, a record low for the Russian economy. In 2025, January to November,
Yeah,
the majority
it's
of
the
the year,
spider, so like I can climb
3/4
up
of the
really
year,
fast.
all of Russian companies recorded losses of 7.5 trillion rubles. This is absolutely massive. No number even close to it has ever existed ever since the fall of the Soviet Union. No losses like that have been taken. This is historic low. Thousands of companies will go bankrupt, and Kremlin cannot leverage them all out or buy them all out or help them all out. Russia as a country will go bankrupt. That's how it is. Let's take another behemoth. Russian railways is practically bankrupt. Economists are convinced of this. Its debts have ballooned to 4 trillion rubles. So 2025, Russian companies took 7.5 trillion rubles of losses. Only one company, the Russian Railways, which is a behemoth, massive company, it's the biggest employer of Russia, has 4 trillion rubles of debt, which is about $50 billion. It's massive even in Western standards. And they plan to sell 49% of their stock. Also, they plan to sell thousands of buildings across Russia, the iconic Riga station, and a skyscraper in Moscow City. They're selling off assets, physical assets, to cover the debts. How can you let your railways go bankrupt? It's not possible. They will drag the country down with them. Another illustration, let's look outside of Russia, for example. Let's look in India. India was one of the biggest buyers of Russian oil next to China, and India was supposed to be the answer and savior ever since European Union stopped buying Russian oil. China stepped in. Well, India is out. Saudi Arabia has overtook Russia as the biggest exporter of oil to India. And if India is not buying that oil, it's not like you can sell it elsewhere. The markets are covered. You cannot sell it. There's no buyer. There literally is no buyer. It's going to drift at sea. They're gonna have to
you gotta
decrease
TP.
production,
The
which
TP
brings
time
in
is
massive issues for the pipelines.
It's random.
Yada,
I feel
yada,
like.
yada. They just lost a major customer. And to top it all off, I'll just show you a video of a Russian man on the street drinking beer and spitting the truth. Why is Russia so effed up? This goes to the special military operation, but it was always like that. Check it out. Why are the SMO soldiers ending up homeless? Here's the truth. Because they come back not quite right in the head. They come to the Arbat street to look around, get new clothes, and go on a drinking binge. Yeah, because drinking in Russia is normalcy. It's not like you have holidays or some kind of, whatever Russians call it, priaznik. Every day, every occasion, they drink. It's part of the culture. And if you drink so much, you know what follows? Depression. Your brain doesn't produce that much dopamine, the sadness, worthlessness, all these feelings go with you binge drink, and they follow you. And it's Russia already. You look around, so everything is falling apart, old, muddy, dark. I mean, it's a country where it's really difficult to be happy. And when you come from a special military operation, you're schooled from the head, and then you go on a drinking binge. I mean, that's just a rabbit hole to hell. Because over there, they're all on drugs. All the SMO soldiers I've talked to, all of them are methadone, methamphetamine, and heroin. Yeah, they're given this by their higher-ups because it really numbs them to pain and to mental pain also, and makes them like zombies. Since they're there for meat assaults anyway, why not just delete the mental part that obstructs this, the thinker? So they give them these drugs and send them on their way. They say that there's no other way because they go crazy otherwise. When you go charging at a dugout with the machine guns, you must be on something, right? You have to be under some drug because you can't do it sober. One of the guys who witnessed this first mortar shelling said, to be honest, I shit myself. I literally pissed and shit my pants. And this happens a lot, by the way, in war, in death, and in war both. If people die, they themselves. And when they don't die and they're in war and they're being shot at, they shit themselves. That's normalcy all across, on the Ukrainian side also. I'm just putting it out there. And this man is not only one man, it is a reflection, a mirror of a cross-cut of a Russian society. Men have been sent there, they go back, they cannot resume work, they cannot be productive, they cannot have normal families. They have a streak of violence and drinking and drugs, and they're very good with weapons and knives, and they have no issues with violence. What do you think it leads to? Whatever you're thinking, you're right. Now, before we get to the counter-offensive, I have a few interesting videos and stories for you. First one is a Ukrainian drone that sits in ambush. It knows there's a Russian drone operator's dugout right here. It knows that it has to come out to pick up its Mavic recon drone, so why not just sit and wait? And boom, here it is. The Russian recon drone lands, and a Russian drone operator crawls out of the den to take it, and boom! Ukrainian drone spins to life and gives the drone operator a little kiss. Nice tactic. Next we travel to Veliki Luki, a Russian oil depot in Pskov region. Pskov is right across the border from Estonia, like right here. 2.5 hours from where I'm now, you get to Pskov Oblast. Oil depot in Pskov Oblast, set on fire by Ukrainian drones. But what's the interesting part is this oblast, this specific oil depot, was protected. The governor did not steal the money, he actually allocated it to put some nets over the oil silos. See, most governors, most oil depot directors, they steal that money because you can get a brand new Mercedes S-Class for the money allocated for these nets. But he didn't, he bought the nets, but they weren't enough. The drone still went through. Penetrating Ukrainian drones penetrated deep into Russian rear areas and exploded in the Pskov Oblast. All puns and innuendos are included and intended. Ukrainian drones also flew to Crimea, where they turned one of Russia's Black Sea assault ships into a tiny submarine. Check it out. If this is in Russian, it's Veka, otherwise it's a BK-16 assault boat. Struck on February 16th, 4 days ago. Look at that. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Russians say, the Ministry of Defense says, the drones were shot down and the boat was not damaged. Only minor scratches. These are these minor scratches. There's nothing left of the assault boat. Very nice. Now I'll bring you an interesting story. This is a gossip. This is a rabbit hole. It's so weird. It shows you why Russians absolutely cannot fight the Americans and go to war against the Americans. All they can do is manipulate Trump or any kind of politics or lobby in the US Congress, but they cannot fight the Americans directly because, check it out, I just accidentally stumbled upon some very peculiar information about Russia's Deputy Minister of Defense, Alexei Grigoruchko. Deputy Minister of Defense, very high positions. In the defense ministry is like the third most important man, basically. It's very, very high, very important. This kind of guy shouldn't have any kind of loopholes or security holes in his story, in his family, right? So check it out. You might have seen him yesterday as he was telling Russians that the startling shutdown hasn't affected the army's efficiency. Ha-de-ha-ha. Anyway, Grigoruchko is married to Yekaterina Toropova, Miss Moscow 2001. Wow, ooh la la. She won her title at the age of 15. Prior to that, she lived in the US for 3 years. Later, the couple bought a multi-million-dollar apartment in Miami. Both of their daughters were born in the US and are American citizens. Just to reiterate, Grigoruchko is Russia's Deputy Minister of Defense, and he assumed the post in 2018. Russia's Deputy Defense Minister has real estate in United States of America and has 2 daughters who live in the USA and are American citizens. By the way, the real estate, the condo, is in one of Trump's developments. So his real estate's in one of Trump's developments and his daughters are living there. Can you imagine? Is this not like a security threat to the one of the most higher up positions in the Russian Ministry of Defense? You want to tell me they're going to fight NATO, go to war against the Americans? No way. These guys, even Shoigu, even Putin's closest friends, oligarchs, the money men of Russia, they all have kids and grandkids in USA with their apartments. There's no way they can fight against America while having their family in America. If you think about this situation, it's crazy, out of this world. No Russian oligarch has their kids or grandkids living in Ukraine and they're bombing Ukraine. They're all living in America because they know that Russia will never fight America. That's how it is. But enough about that. I think you got your daily gossip rabbit hole fix. Now let's travel to Belarus and St. Petersburg, because these stories are connected actually. In Belarus, yesterday, thousands of people got military summons, even women. They got military summons, no preparation time, nothing. Straight from work, straight from toilets, bath, whatever you are, in swim club. You got your military summons, and you gotta follow the men who gave it to you. No time to prepare. Even men with like 3-4 children, or women with children, couldn't even pick up their toddler from kindergarten. Just follow me and go to the military office immediately. The officials say that it's a test for military readiness, like mobilization readiness, but this is not how you do it. This is taking a dump on your own people. I mean, if you have 3 kids, for example, you have 2 in the kindergarten and you cannot pick them up. This is already a catastrophe for one family. You do that, and that's what they did. And they're all close to Suwalki Gap. These oblasts there got their military summons. And men were supposed to be taken for 1.5 months training. So this is weird. Why they're doing it now? I don't know. Continuing on the same topic, in Russia, in St. Petersburg, they have massively hiked up their one-time payments for joining the Russian military. See, every Russian oblast and region has their quota of men of meat they have to send to the war machine, to the meat grinder. And St. Petersburg and Moscow, not many men are joining because these are more wealthier areas, and usually people from poorer areas are lured in by the one-time payments, which are massive, like Yakutia and other like really far east regions. But St. Petersburg and Moscow also have to fill their quotas. And these areas have bigger budgets, so they can throw money at the problem. And they do. One-time payments went up to 2.6 million rubles for one-time payments and 400,000 rubles for from the federal budget. So that's 3 million rubles for one-time joining. You can buy like many apartments with that one payment only in different Russian towns. Not maybe in Moscow and St. Petersburg, but in some other towns. This money will last you years. It's massive. So I guess they're falling behind on their quotas, and Kremlin stepped in. My friends, have you read my book yet? 8 Missions in Ukraine. Today in Facebook I got the memories, you know, it pops up the memory. This date right now, 20th of February, 3 years ago, 2023, I was first time in Kyiv. It was a photo of us with the guys, with Neifo, Ragnar and Jussi and some Finnish dudes. And we drove there. I remember being so afraid hearing those first missiles at that very place we took that photo. Missile alert. I heard it for the first time in my life. This day 3 years ago, and about 2 years and some later I wrote this book. 8 missions later I wrote this book. Go and get it. I only have a few hundred of them left, and I will not make more because it has been incredibly difficult to sell a book. But I'm doing it. So go and get it. Let's get it sold out, and that's it. And at the end of the video, I'll be butchering some Buy Me a Coffee monthly members also, who actually financed the making of this. Now, the Ukrainian counteroffensive, and we begin with the blockage of Telegram and Starlink in Russia, because these two combined being blocked or being lost to the Russian army are the reason why Ukrainians are counterattacking. Despite the outcry from Russians at the front as well as the general population, the aging Russian dictator is still going for a full block of Telegram on April the 1st. Yeah, you might hope that's an April Fool's joke, but I don't think Putin has much of a humor sense on that. They're going to block it fully, although everybody, literally every soldier, is saying that they need it so bad. They need Telegram. And they did need Starlink. They're never gonna get Starlink back, but Telegram is the choice of the Russians, Kremlin, and Putin is making that choice.
There's
It will
more
hurt
spots
them.
to
It
go and
already
check
has,
out.
and it will hurt them even more. For example, let's take another Russian military blogger, Two Majors. That's one of the Telegram channels, one of the bigger ones again. In every video I'll include one of them just to illustrate how many different big channels are talking about how painful it is to lose such a communication channel like Telegram. The near simultaneous shutdown of Starlink and Telegram are having a massive impact on Russian forces in Ukraine. According to Russian war bloggers, they say that recent Ukrainian advances are a direct consequence of the problem that are being caused. Two Majors writes, we can say that it was precisely the combined communication problems that have led to the localized Ukrainian armed forces counteroffensive in the south of Kupiansk and in the Zaporizhia direction in recent days. So, big channel says that it's the direct consequence of Russians themselves blocking Telegram that Ukrainians are advancing and eliminating thousands of Russian soldiers. And the choice comes from the Kremlin. It's so weird. Kremlin wants to take Ukraine, and then they make a choice that gets thousands of Russian soldiers killed. I feel like we have a pattern here. I've seen this for 4 years already. Now I'll just throw in the spokesperson of the Ukrainian Army Southern Front, Vladislav Voloshin, who says that Ukrainian troops have gone on the counteroffensive and assault on one of the front directions. The main goal is to stop the Russian advance towards the Dnipropetrovsk region. Official information from the southern spokesperson, Ukrainian Army spokesperson of the Southern Front. So yeah, both sides are confirming it in every way, officially, unofficially, everybody confirms it. Ukrainians are advancing in the south, Russians are retreating, and it's because of the Starlink and Telegram fiasco. Let's take Rybar, for example. The biggest Russian military blogger. Check it out. I'll give you a full video, 1 minute of him talking in Russian about the real situation and showing a surrounded Russian contingent right here hugging the Kakhovka reservoir. Check it out. Ukrainian formations went on the offensive on a front about 20 kilometers wide. The situation is difficult on the western flank of the Zaporizhia front. Ukrainian formations are using tens, if not hundreds, of drones, time and time again to strike our positions. The situation is difficult. It's the area of responsibility of the Dnipro group of forces. The enemy is trying to cut off the salient towards Zaporizhia on the bank of the former Kakhovka reservoir. Check it out. This is the reservoir, this is the salient right here that he's talking about. Saying that what everybody is saying, that there is a general Ukrainian advance here. Ukrainian formations have gone on the offensive. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste your time anymore on this. You get the point, which is that only the Kremlin doesn't know that this is happening and doesn't connect it to the block of Telegram. Everybody else on both sides are screaming that this is the case. Rybar's new map came out yesterday. Check this. Not so deep. I'm a nuclear superpower. Yeah, it came out yesterday where Ukrainian units indeed are penetrating really deep into the rear areas of this nuclear superpower of Russia. You can see that shown an advance towards Stepova right here, where Ukrainian units have penetrated 5+ kilometers into Russian held territory. That's super deep even for a nuclear superpower. It's gonna hurt tomorrow. This is it, my friends, for today. But don't go yet, because I've yet to butcher some of Buy Me a Coffee monthly members who finance the making of this book. Making a book, really damn difficult, really damn expensive. I could make it thanks to you, thanks to these guys who contributed back at the time. Go and get the book and also sign up for Buy Me a Coffee. Check it out. Oscar Foltars, Divat P. Ekrub, and finally Big Daddy. Yeah, that's how it is. That's where it's at, Mr. Big Daddy. Until my next video, which will be every Monday and Wednesday and Friday also. Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Have you ever seen how a Ukrainian recon unit operates? Well, I bring to you a 3rd Recon Battalion from the 3rd Army Corps of the Ukrainian Army. We're gonna watch a video where they capture 7 Russian POWs and they take 0 casualties themselves. This is the 3rd Army Corps. Now, it was founded at the spring of 2025. Before it was the 3rd Assault Brigade, and you all know about them. Well, the 3rd Army Corps was built around the 3rd Assault Brigade because they're one of the best Ukrainian assault brigades. Today we focus on a video from a very specific unit from 3rd Recon Battalion. You can see them right here, and the unit is Only Wars Company. You heard correct.
And now you drowned. Is that a crab? I hope off it's late in the morning. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? I think I made it drown. All right, everybody, I'm gonna hop off for the night as well. Thank you for all being here. That was a lot of fun. We are gonna fuck around more tomorrow. So thanks for hanging out. If you're watching the VOD, thank you for watching the VOD. If you just got here, remember, hit that like and subscribe. Maybe follow, depending on what platform you're on. If you're on my Twitch or my YouTube side, yes, I do actually have both, and I am simultaneously streaming from both. All right, well, thank you all for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.